here giving my little fan.
Okay. I call to order this regular council meeting, and could we please have a roll call for certification of the quorum?
Mayor Jason Knight.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Randy Haskins.
Here.
Councilmember Ruth Camarillo Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Elise Chacon.
Here.
Councilmember Luana Martin.
Here.
Mayor, there is a quorum of the council necessary to conduct this meeting.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, now could we all please rise for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance?
Father, we gather here today with a purpose, to serve the people of our city. We ask for your guidance and wisdom as the council members make decisions that will impact our community. May their deliberations be guided by justice, compassion, and a commitment to the common good. Help them to listen to the needs of all citizens and to work towards a future where our city thrives. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, now we're going to go on a special presentation, and we're going to present a certificate of appreciation to Juanice Butler for her dedication for serving on multiple boards in Aranda's Pass.
Would you like to have the whole council come down first? Yep.
No, I was gonna stand down.
I don't want to photobomb the photo. Go ahead. Go ahead. You want to go down?
Yeah.
Oh. I was trying not to photobomb it.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for appreciate all your service. Hey, somebody come over here. Oh, everybody over there.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Fabulous.
I'm not leaving, I'm just stepping down of other responsibilities. Service is just a part of my life, it's part of life in general, and so I still will support the community, just in different ways. And so I'm just on several boards and commissions, and there's just time for me to make an adjustment for that, trying to reach life, work, and service balance.
Thank you, Winnie. Thank you.
Apologize, I do have to leave, I have another.
We know.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to go into announcements.
Yes, we have one announcement today, and that is that we're having a budget workshop meeting. It's scheduled for Thursday, August 21st at 6 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we're going to go into citizens' comments.
Just me? Good afternoon, council. So I want to talk to you about an incident happened on 03/30/23. It involved a mother being tased here in town for getting her child off the bus. It took me 3 years to get the data. Thank you, Mary, for finally giving it to me. I don't agree with having to pay for it, as it's transparent and should be given out to the community so we can know exactly what happened. Anyways, you can guess, Pound Cake lied to everybody out here. APD was dispatched to receive a phone call from a secondhand conversation. This conversation came from Aransas Pass Independent School District's bus driver supervisor. She said that her bus driver told her there was a woman in front of the bus. That's it. APD arrived on scene, no female in front of the bus. What does that mean? They have no clue who they're looking for, no description, nothing. So they targeted the female that was getting her child. The mother, attempting to de-escalate the situation and trying to leave, was illegally detained by APPD. How is it illegal? Well, officers must have reasonable suspicion that the individual is involved in criminal activity. This means they need to have specific facts to detain a person. I can't just say there's a bald guy and that's him. No, I have to identify him, right? There has to be some kind of articulating facts. What was she wearing? What did she look like? None of that was present. So they just targeted a female. Without a description of the perpetrator, the secondhand information, aka hearsay, which in itself is not cause to detain, APD cannot simply target females and assume they are criminals. Everything that happened after the illegal attainment and arrest should have been dismissed. The bus driver wasn't even interviewed until 14 days after this event, so they had no witness till 14 days after. What was the bus driver's statement? There was no talking, no nothing. She just said the lady got in from a bus, that was it, and she moved. When APD arrived, she was in a different location, already offloading kids. This means the officers violated her Fourth Amendment and 14th Amendment right. This means the officers assaulted her child by grabbing the child. This means officers assaulted her by grabbing her. Supervisor Luker committed battery by tasing the mother, and then later in the video mocking the mother for getting her kid. He said on there, he basically mocked her and made fun of her for her being assaulted by peace officers for getting her child, and that's on the video. That's our supervisor. Let's not forget that intentionally pressed his shoulder into her. They still had tasers. They still had the taser barbs in her back. Officer Lucas lunged his shoulder into the back to cause her pain on purpose at APPD. This is after they left the bus scene because she was being talkative. And then he slams her into the wall. Well, you, Chief Perkins, investigate this, and forgive me if I don't hold my breath, but APPD seems to self-audit themselves and always find themselves angels. I know you're new, so I'll let you try it. Like when Supervisor Jones said that there wasn't anything wrong with leaving the homeless man tied up and his genitals exposed for an hour on the jail cell. Officer Jones said there was nothing wrong with that. To me, that's unethical, but we'll let you decide. I would like to be placed on the agenda to actually show this, if y'all would allow me. I can give you all the data of what happened, and we can compare them with APPDs to actually show transparency in Aransas Pass.
Follow, your 3 minutes are up.
Okay, thank you. I'll come back because I got a lot more to talk about on this one. Mr. Perkins, if you'd like to see me, we can talk. There's your witness statement 14 days after the event happened. Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak? Okay, now we'll move into staff reports and other discussion items.
Yeah. The first item, as you said, is a preview of the budget for next fiscal year, 2025-2026. This presentation is to provide you with a preview of the city's proposed budget for the upcoming fiscal year, and it's also to give you an overview of where we currently stand. So I'll go over some key points, and then Sandra Garcia, our finance director, will provide you with a detailed breakdown of the proposed budget. Over the last several years, for about 4 years to be exact, we have consistently reduced the tax rate. And we are once again going to be recommending a decrease of the tax rate. But again, that's up to the council. That's the council's decision. At this time, where the budget stands right now, there is a budget deficit that stands at about $2.5 million. We have made some reductions, but obviously additional reductions are needed. So we will be working with department heads here in the coming weeks to go over their budgets to see where they could make some additional cuts. And once those meetings are complete, then we will have a better idea of where the budget stands. Last year, the city did not issue a tax note for capital projects. I'm going to be recommending a tax note this year for capital projects. It'll be a short-term tax note, and for those capital budgets that the budget cannot support. I can tell you that our debt service remains in good standing, and the tax note is a financing mechanism that allows cities to fund capital projects. As for the tax rate, as I mentioned earlier, we're proposing a tax rate of 0.733166, which represents a decrease of 0.2727%. That is a decrease of about 20% of a cent. The current tax rate is 0.734997. I can tell you the proposed budget that Sandra is going to present here in just a moment does not include a cost of living increase. However, we're hopeful that once we start to meet with department heads and we start to make some additional cuts, we're hopeful that that may change. But our number one priority is going to be to submit a balanced and a responsible budget to the council. The proposed budget has been distributed to you. It's also posted on our website. But at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Sandra, and she's going to go over an overview. But I will just a few final things. As I mentioned earlier, the next budget workshop is scheduled for August 21st. The council is expected to set the tax rate and the budget public hearing at the August 18th meeting, and the budget and the tax rate are scheduled to be adopted on September 15th.
Yeah, I think just keep working on making some cuts, because everybody knows how I love tax notes. That was the
Yes.
joke. So see what we can cut that won't hinder the day-to-day operations of the city, because I'd like to try not to do that, but I know y'all guys are good at y'all's job, so I'll let y'all work it out and see what y'all come up with.
Okay, all right.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As Ms. White has stated, there is the budget. The proposed budget is there. It's the booklet. There's some attachments. It's a presentation, this presentation right here that's there. As she stated, the general fund is the one that's at $2.5 million in the deficit, and you'll see the water and sewer fund and another $2.5 million in the deficit. The reason why these funds are so high in the deficit, it does include all the capital outlay and all the capital projects that were presented. It does not include any new positions. It does not include any kind of cost of living adjustment, any kind of pay change or increase or anything like that at this moment. It just has all the capital outlay. So there I also gave you guys a list of all the capital items requested by fund. You'll see that the general fund has a capital items requested of $2.7 million, almost $2.8 million. The water and sewer fund has $1.5 million. The aquatic center has almost $350,000, and the civic center has about $288,000. I know that the aquatic center and the civic center are going to be approaching the MDD, the Municipal Development District Board, to try to see how much of those capital projects the board is able to pay for. If we're able to get that, that'll lower the debt. I'm not going to lie to you, we are going to have to issue debt.
Yes.
There is no way that you're going to cut $2 million of the general fund without cutting services to do everything that we want to do. It's not. But on the book that I gave you, look at page 70 on that book. You'll see, it's a graphic representation. Unfortunately, I didn't give you the slide, Mary. I just thought of it right now while he was saying about I want to point out, it's a graph representation of what our debt looks like. You'll see there in 2026, and what happens? The debt starts to whittle down. So we have the debt capacity. If we structure the debt in a way where maybe we issue the debt later in the fiscal year, we issue it in a way where we just pay interest only, right? Maybe the first year, because you'll be able to make bigger payments the following year and the years later, because your debt is decreasing substantially in the years to come. Starting next year, moving forward, as you can see there, is just going down. I know we don't like debt. I know it's a bad word. But a tax note is a vehicle that's going to give you money right now that you're going to pay. The most you can pay a tax note off is in 7 years. I would not recommend going out 7 years. I would say, depending on what we're doing and what we're buying, maybe 4 years, 5 at most, how we can structure the debt, what the debt payments are, what our bond counts, what our financial advisors are projecting interest rates to be at. All of that comes into play to see we can structure the debt in a way that we can absorb it, so that we can continue with the tax rate decrease that we've continued, that the council has had for the past 4 years. I know it's not a lot, but it's something, on that. So I wanted to point that out. I wanted to show you all that the departments are asking for. Then there's also a handout there.
Sandra.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I
I'm
ask a
sorry.
question
Of
about-
course, yes, ma'am.
Please clarify.
Yes, ma'am.
Because those of us are new and we're trying to learn.
Yes, ma'am.
Why is our debt so high today and will substantially go down? What is going to be paid off that's going to?
There are going to be
Go down.
bonds that are being paid off. Off the top of my head, I don't know which ones are being paid off, but the way we structure the debt sometimes is that we pay a lot. It depends, like what I was saying today. Today, if we issue debt at the beginning of the fiscal year, let's try to issue the debt to where we do interest payments only. That way, your debt payment is very low, but then it's going to jump the following year because you're going to make it up in the principal payment the following year. So we structured the debt in a way when we're issuing debt, we look at what our debt capacity is. So we may have structured debt in the past where we may have paid interest only and paid off more principal towards the end, or the other way around if the budget was able to sustain that. So I know that we are paying some debt off, and some of it is coming off. We've issued tax notes in the past. The longest that we've issued a tax note, I think, is for 5 years. So, I've been here since 2016, so a lot of that debt has already started to come off the books. That's why. But I can get you a list, a breakdown of what debts are being dropped off starting next fiscal year.
Yeah, because it's pretty significant. And,
Yes.
we can't just say, hey, it's going to minimize. No, we need to know how it's going to minimize.
Yeah,
It's-
the way
What's going to cause it to minimize.
The way it's structured, like.
The way, yes.
You'll have bonds retire, they're paid off, and then your payment goes down lower. So
Correct.
you have another one retired instead of having a giant payment spread across the board. It's all the bonds are staggered so many years.
So what I can give you is, I can give you a list. So here you'll see, right here on that list, according to the legend, I can see that in 2028, the 2024 tax note is going to be paid off. I'm going to have to, I need to see, the legend is so small and the colors are, I'm not really good with the color, but I can go ahead and give you a breakdown of how they're falling off. But there are, like in 2028, you're going to have, your biggest one is going to be the one that we just issued for the $16 million, which is your CO 2024. Then we're still going to be paying on what appears to be a CO 2014. I don't know, before my time. I don't know what that one was issued for. Then you have CO 2016 that's still going to be paid, a tax note that's still going to be paid at that time. And it may be another tax note for 2020 that is still going to be on the books. But I know it's very hard to look at the legend and see the colors, and it'll tell you which are missing and which are the ones that are dropping off. But I will give you an Excel spreadsheet and let you know what debts are dropping off at what time.
So basically, come 2037, the only thing that'll be on the books, if we don't add to the books, will be the tax note of this year. Last year.
The one for the $16 million? Let me double check. Yes. Everything is going to start to fall off in 2037. That would be, if you don't issue any debt, that would be the only thing that would be on the books. And that's going to be on the books all the way to 2044. That's when we finish paying that off. But you built the debt capacity in the tax rate that would allow you to continue doing the infrastructure projects that we need to do for the city without having the cost or the effect of raising the property taxes. It's just managing your debt capacity in a fiscally responsible manner, is what I would say. The other handout that I left there on y'all's, on the dais, was the new positions that the departments were wanting for them. Okay, so if you want to go to the next slide,
Hold on, where's your new
It's this one.
positions at?
and there's one that says new positions, sir. It has 6 of them listed there?
I think it's the last one. There it is.
Yes. It has six positions listed: municipal court, fire department, police department, public works, You know what, that one's listed twice. I do apologize about that. I was gonna delete one of them. Delete number 4. I'm very sorry about that. It's listed twice. Streets and the aquatic center. And those are the positions that are being requested at this moment.
Delete number 4.
Yes, sir. Number 4 and number 5 should be the same thing.
They have
So
two different pays.
Right.
Yes, I know, but when I recalculated it, number 5 is the correct one. Number 4, I got from what they presented to us during the budget workshop.
Is number 5's position, David, is that supposed to help with the paving that needs to happen on the streets?
I mean, indirectly it would help, but when we started the transfer station, we had a employee that was part-time that would go to transfer station and work in the street department. But now that we have the transfer station full-time, he is now full-time over there, so we completely lost an employee in that department. So that would just be replacing the employee that was there part-time.
Oh, okay.
So it would help in the paving, but right now we are completely short one person. So it's not adding to what we had, we're just trying to replace what was taken away.
Okay.
Can I ask you about number 3, Chief? Can you justify that to me?
Animal control, sir. Animal control officer.
Animal control?
Yes, sir.
What we're asking for on the animal control is, we've had an increase, it seems, of calls, and there's been at least one incident in which and me and you had discussed this before, where we had nobody on, because we had one out of the country and one happened to get sick. So, we had nobody to do it, which in reality we did, because the officers would run the call, for animal control if it came down to that. We were asking for either, if not a full-time animal control position, then, possibly a part-time, position as well. And that's just something that I wanted to ask for, but it's something that we can also cut if need be.
Ken?
Yeah, you talk over
That's just one incident, Chief, where you didn't have the people. You did, but you didn't. That was just one incident that I'm aware of. Was there any others?
Not that I know of.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So if we can go back to like the 3rd page on my slide. I'm sorry, Mary, I'm all over the place. There you go. Okay, so we already discussed the summary of what each fund was wanting as far as capital projects. We'll go to the 2nd page, the 4th page, I'm sorry. There we go. Okay, anticipated revenues overall is $27,623,000. Anticipated expenditures is $33,078,000.
Hey, speed writer.
I'm
Slow
sorry.
down. Say that again.
Okay, it's there. 27,623,873 are the revenues. That's on your handout, sir.
I know, but I don't have it, so
Oh,
I'll.
I didn't leave it up there for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you do this one.
Its anticipated expenditures is $33,078,586. If we don't do anything and we leave everything there, the fund balance is going to be estimated at $4.4 million, which is a 25% fund balance. We do have a policy that requires a 40% fund balance, or they're close, because of where we live in the coastal area, and our fund balance policy is a little bit more stringent, and we need to keep it at around 40%. Staff recommended using debt, to pay for any capital outlay or projects. Like the city manager stated, our tax rate, we're recommending 73 cents. We're currently at 73 cents and change. There is going to be a slight reduction. 1 cent of property tax generates $105,504. Because I know you always ask that question.
Slow it down.
Yeah, that's how much 1 cent of property tax is going to generate.
Wow, yeah.
So, do you all have any questions?
Well, I just hope that 1 cent doesn't flatline and go the other direction.
No.
It's gone up since I've been here, it's gone up
Mm-hmm.
over $60,000.
After, you know what, Harvey was a blessing for us. It was a blessing in disguise,
Yeah.
really and truly for us. You could see our property tax value increasing every year after Harvey because of all the upgrades that people did to their homes, the new subdivisions, you know, everything, Hogan Homes, everything that's coming into the area, businesses, that increases our tax base, obviously. And so we are, yeah.
How does this affect the normal person? What kind of savings will they have?
I did not do that math. I do apologize about that. What would you say is a normal house?
Say a $200,000 house.
$200,000 house? Okay, hold on. Give me a minute. Let me do the math real quick.
Well, it depends on their valuation also.
Right, I'm
We
just
can
saying.
lower this tax rate 1 cent, somebody's valuation goes up 20%, their tax bill's gonna be higher.
Right.
It's hard to judge that one.
I don't even want to say it out loud.
Roughly.
A $200,000 home will see a $4 decrease on their property value. That's why I didn't want to say it. Because you have to understand, it isn't even a cent that we're reducing it. But we are reducing it, but it's not, you know, it's like Ms. White has said, it's like almost 20% of a cent. So that's, you know, that's why it's not as significant as we had in other years where we were able to reduce a penny or a penny and a half or a penny and a quarter. It's just the way the debt is structured right now, I would not recommend going beyond what I'm proposing right now, because then you would have to do
Yeah, you'd have to make
More cuts.
$5,000 cut for every cent you want to cut back.
So, I mean, and this is not probably gonna go over very well. Is it even worth doing the small reduction?
You're not gonna get a no from me. Like I'm gonna be like, give me the more money.
I don't know.
But I do know that it has, you know, it has been our practice to try to lower and minimize the tax rate every year. I know that that is what council likes. I know that you hear from the constituents, and that's what they're expecting also. Obviously, if that's not the direction you want and you want to stay where we are right now, you're not going to get any complaints from me. Like I said, I can work that number. It's not going to be that much more, but it'll be something more to the budget. You know,
Sandra,
so, yes,
looking
sir.
at the capital outlay items.
Yes, sir.
The want list, in other words,
Yes.
some of these are being farmed out to MDD board and,
We are going to try, we are approaching for everything that's listed under the Aquatic Center and the Civic Center, sir. We are going to be approaching MDD. That doesn't mean the MDD is going to approve it. We're just going to go before the board by, I mean,
okay, I
Ms.
understand
Caitlin.
that, but it's also the police department for the taser gun.
Okay, the police department is getting the taser guns paid by crime control. And the radios are being picked up from crime control also. Those are gonna be picked up from,
So that's in addition to the emergency vote that was paid?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, that's getting,
Yes,
so the
ma'am.
tasers are.
the
crime
tasers,
control.
I still have them here
And
because
the Axon respond? That
no,
one?
no.
Radios.
The radios on number 200, the fire department,
Oh,
the
okay.
215.
Okay.
The reason why I have them here is because the board hasn't officially adopted their budget. They haven't officially said we're picking them up.
Okay.
This is just an unofficial, we're looking at doing this.
Okay,
So I just
say
decided.
they do, then we're looking at $150,000 back to us right now.
150 plus a 215.
Plus the 215.
Yeah, so you go down to these others and start looking at what they're getting or what we can cut from them that we can do without. I think we can probably make up close to that $2 million.
You would have to not do any of this to make up the $2 million. Really and truly.
Yep.
Like,
Okay,
yeah. That includes some street paving projects.
okay.
I don't know, just, I'm
So,
going,
so instead of raising taxes, we do without the toys and the other stuff that we can get by with and don't go out for a tax note. And then next year, we put ourselves in a better position to do these, right?
okay, so next year, The tax rate is a mathematical equation based on your debt. You have the possibility of decreasing your tax rate next year also, because your debt is gonna decrease. But if you don't issue debt, then you're gonna decrease it substantially. That doesn't mean that you're gonna have money in your operating side to pay for this. The tax rate is comprised of two numbers: your maintenance and operating and your interest and sinking, meaning to keep the lights on and to pay the debt. So the money to keep the lights on, you cannot increase it by, the maximum you can increase that the state allows is 3.5% a year. You cannot go beyond that. The state will, you will have to have an election for your tax rate if you go above that.
Okay, you're talking about normal utilities and stuff that we pay anyway. I'm not talking
Yes.
about that. I'm talking about the want list.
Yes, sir, but the want list, if you don't want to take out a note, then you're gonna piecemeal that want list into years and years of adding one item to the budget at a time. Because what I'm trying to get at is that just because you don't issue the debt today, you're gonna be in a better financial position next year with the debt. Yes, you are, but you're still, the budget is still not, I can tell you, it's not going to support $2 million extra on the general fund. It just won't.
I like this not knowing exactly what you're talking about, because the average citizen doesn't understand what you're talking about either.
I'm so sorry.
What I see is a light-duty truck, $73,000. Why?
That I don't know. I
mean,
don't know.
That's something that can be cut. It's not a necessity, I don't believe.
I'm going to say this. Back in 2014, 2015, somewhere around that area, the city manager at that time
Yeah,
issued
15. Yep.
Issued a big certificate of obligation.
Yep.
Everybody, they bought new vehicles.
They're like 27.
But then, unfortunately, CPD gets new vehicles every year. They have a rotation of vehicles. They have money where they can go and get their new vehicles. Public Works, unfortunately, doesn't have what PD has. So Public Works has to limp along until we buy them a vehicle. And just recently, in this past couple of years, have we started to replace all those old vehicles. So that's what happened. That is what's happening. They do need some of these vehicles.
I don't
Because
see anything in Public Works for vehicles. You're talking about streets
Yes.
and drainage?
Yeah, there-
Go
yes,
to the
streets
second-
and drainage is Public
go to
Works,
the
sir.
second
Yes.
page.
Where's it at?
I think, well,
Or
they're
at the
getting
top.
2 total, I think.
Okay,
And I think that they have some in the water department as well.
okay, what I'm talking about though is, yes, they need them. Okay, can you justify to me why we need a light-duty truck for $73,000?
What item is that, sir? Okay, that's the fire department.
Fire department.
The
Is that
fire,
King Ranch?
I don't know, the fire chief is right here.
I mean, Chief, I'm sorry, I just bought my truck not too long ago for $40,000.
So this is we just quoted out or spec'd out a Dodge 1500, and this is to replace the aged and worn squad vehicle that we use to respond to the medical calls. And that was in an effort to keep the fire truck from going to the medical calls.
I understand that, and I know that's what you're doing, but why is it $73,000?
That would, well, it was, base price was 63, but then we had to add costs to upfit it with a grill guard, lights, siren, graphics, radio, transition the radio
How much
over.
does it cost to outfit one?
I think the quote was about almost $10,000.
How many trucks y'all have right now?
So we have the engine, the ladder, the light duty, the squad pickup truck that we use. We
Yeah.
have my vehicle, the DC's vehicle. And then we have an old beat up utility vehicle sitting behind City Hall.
Right.
And then the brush trucks.
Mary, I have a question. Can any of these items for the fire department be purchased with those monies in that $16 million bond?
We were gonna purchase the compressor.
Yeah, that's not there.
Yeah, you X'd it out. We
Yes,
X'd
ma'am.
that out. But we believe that that's probably the only item that we can probably include with or purchase from the bond money.
So a light duty
I
truck,
think
would
that,
it
that
be?
the cost for that compressor was
80-something thousand, 83?
almost 90,000.
Yeah,
Is that- It was
84,000.
almost 90,000.
You may be able to, because the bond, I would need to go back and read how the bond was issued. We may be able to buy some of this other equipment there. The only,
I know we
caveat.
can't do the vehicle. We may be able to do the extrication tools, oh, I think we
The
already Xed that
radios.
out.
Yeah.
And the
That's a big
cameras,
cost.
the thermal imaging cameras.
Well,
we may
crime
be-
control's paying for the
For the
radios.
radios.
Yeah.
Yeah, unofficially right now, yes.
Yes.
It's just, we don't know where the renovation and building, what we're doing there is going to cost. So if we start eating away at that money,
Yeah.
we may not have enough when it's time to do the building, and then we're gonna be here before you saying, oopsies,
Yeah.
we need to borrow more money.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you about this, the Civic Center.
Yes, sir.
They're asking for 288,000. What's wrong with our current restrooms and all that?
I believe that they're wanting to do an overhaul on the bathrooms in the facility that are in need of attention. I think, Caitlin, I'm sorry.
And I know we were gonna
Sorry.
go to the MDD for
Mhm.
that.
'Cause that's a want. I don't consider that a need, it's not a necessity. Personally, I think everyone on council would rather pay off the debt or minimize the debt. The Civic Center is beautiful. I personally love it. I don't see anything wrong with the restrooms. I think for this year, possibly let's leave it alone, take it off the books, and revisit it next year.
Well, I think
to
what-
save those
I
resources.
think what she's gonna do is go to the MDD board and let, set that sales tax money,
And
and
that-
they can use that to pay for it.
They have the funds.
So we have two public bathroom facilities that are quite large, which total 4. And then we have 3 smaller. So it's actually 7 bathroom spaces that we'd be redecorating. While they're still usable, they're aging. And the deterioration, of course, is taking the form of unsightly countertops. We're having to replace the toilets systems more frequently. They're, a little bit dated as far as that plumbing system, and of course the tile. It's just very outdated, and in an environment where we're trying to maintain competitiveness, if we recall back to the beginning of that building, it was actually through the MDD board that the city was able to build the structure. And so the MDD board had recently gone, the chair, the president, and toured the property, and it was actually at her suggestion. She said perhaps we should look at remodeling to make this a little bit more competitive. And so, because of course we'd have to go through the procurement process, we did have one contractor come out and give us a ballpark quote to be able to remodel of that. But almost everything that you would see under Civic Center would qualify if MDD were to adopt those funds, and so you wouldn't see that reflected in the general fund.
Well, the point about it is it is in these forms that you're giving us, and like I said,
Exactly.
I don't mind at all not being intelligent as to what you're doing.
So,
But I look at it from a tax-paying citizen also, and I look at why do we need 4 laptops at $1,400 each when the city bought us laptops for $200 or $300?
So, Mayor and Council, let me just say that at this point, the budget that we're presenting is just a preview of the
Yes,
budget.
this is,
We're
we're
gonna
still
go,
going
the
to
next
cut.
couple of weeks, we plan to meet with departments to see where we can cut. And if you'll allow us to go back and look at this capital list to see where we can make some additional cuts. And when we have our next budget workshop meeting, which is on August the 21st, we'll present it at that time.
Would we have an answer by then from the MDD to see
As a
if?
matter of fact,
MDD
yes,
is
we
meeting
will.
next week.
The
Okay.
MDD meets next week, and then the crime control meets on the 20th.
20th.
Our meeting is on the 21st.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's imperative that our department heads go back to the drawing board and literally decide, is this a want or is it a need?
And
And
that
is it
is,
a need for this year?
yes, ma'am,
Or
and
can
that is what
get
we plan
by
to do.
One
Yes.
more year,
okay.
just so we can try to get things back where they need to be and be able to be proud of what we're doing.
Okay, all right.
And I think another thing, and I've talked about you, or with this, you, Mary, for quite a few times, is I want the department heads to put together spec sheets. And that way we can give out spec sheets to all 3 dealerships here and bring competitive bidding back. Because we used to do it here and it disappeared, and no harm to you, it's just, I think it's a fair thing to do, since we got multiple dealerships here, just give more people an opportunity to be able to bid on vehicles.
Yes, yeah, you have.
Okay.
We've talked about that.
For something, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna interject right there, I'm gonna give my 2 cents on that. For something like that, you will need to go through a formal RFP process. That we couldn't get just quotes, you would need to,
Oh,
we
yeah.
would need to go, or if you don't wanna go through that process, then the other process is going through one of the purchasing cooperatives where they've already done the specs, they've already done the bidding, you go on there and you say, this is what I want, but you're not gonna be buying locally. More than likely, you're gonna be buying out of Houston, San Antonio, Dallas,
Yeah.
and they're gonna ship that to you
Yeah.
over here. So that's just,
That's not a problem.
it isn't for me, but I don't know what the preference of the council is. So-
Personally, I prefer to go through an RFP and buy local, support
Same
our
here.
community. That way the tax money stays within our, whatever we
here.
pay stays within our city.
And that's fine, and like, whatever the council decides to do, that would
Yeah.
be the way to go about it.
Okay.
Okay? Do you all have any other questions?
No, good.
No? This is, like I said, this is a very rough first draft. It is on our website, already, but it is a very rough draft of the budget. It's just to give you an idea where we are, where it stands as of today. It is going to be evolving and changing every day until the day that we adopt the budget. And then at that point in time, it's gonna be locked in, but it's
Okay.
gonna change up until that day, okay?
Okay.
Job.
All right, thank you.
I want to say to Chief Nehar and Chief Perkins, I'm not against what you guys need, because I've been where you guys are, and I wanted the toys and the nice stuff too. I'm on the other side of the fence now, and my job now is to take care of the citizens. And I am one of them, and I don't want to pay all these taxes that I pay. So if y'all can reconsider your deal or try to figure out something else, that would be great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra.
Okay. Oh,
Okay, the next item is prioritizing paving and infrastructure projects for next fiscal year. And for the record, Councilmember Camarillo Smith has submitted a conflict of interest form, so she will not be participating in the discussions.
Yes. I'm gonna step out and Chris is gonna come get you.
Do you have the priority list up or just the map?
Just the map, but they
Okay.
have a copy.
Oh,
of
you have a
the
copy?
list.
Okay,
Yeah,
I can
they
pull it
have
up on my phone. Good evening, Mayor and Council. So I drew a map so that we can see where the location, or the geographic location of these streets are. We always try to spread the love of you, per se. I know what I was recommending, because one of the streets is really bad, and it's a shorter street. It might be simpler compared to the other ones to go and take care of with Guile. I misspelled highway, I put Y-35, but, you know. So from Highway 35 to McCampbell, it's not a long stretch, but it's a pretty bad road. I feel like it's still in the stage where we can catch it early before it gets very expensive to fix. But it has a horrible crown, so it's gonna be very thick on the edges, because that's what we're gonna have to do to fix it. The other street that I recommend doing next was Avenue A, which is from Wheeler to Johnson, because it's a very high-traffic area. And my third recommendation would be on Pelican Cove, the Pompano Drive. That'll be basically both sides of the boulevard. So those are the top three that I'd actually recommend doing this year. Of course, this is my recommendations. All the streets need attention. I'm all ears. If you guys want me to go a different direction, we'll be welcome to do that, but,
Could
you know.
we show a little bit of love to D-Berry and put in some speed bumps? Because I sat out there myself one day for about 30 minutes, and people do not stop at that stop sign. They literally yield. And someone's gonna get killed. It is a four-way stop.
Sure.
We could even just on one street this year, and then maybe next year after do the other side. It's terrible. You know, they use it as a yield.
The speed bumps aren't really a capital project. I mean, that could be done within our maintenance budget, but speed bumps are made more for parks and churches, like those kind of neighborhoods, so we can slow when children are playing or in the schools, things of that sort. It's not really common to put in residential streets, in my opinion, but we're welcome to do it, or at least talk about trying to put some speed bumps. But that isn't particularly a capital project. That is something we could probably just discuss and see if we can schedule that in.
Okay.
I think one to look at would be East Palm Drive and 13th.
13th and East
Yeah,
Palm
13th
Drive.
from probably Wheeler to where it wraps around to Greenwood.
Oh, he's got that.
That,
Okay.
that area looks like about 10 nuclear warheads went off. all
Okay.
that area. I mean, it's
Sure.
pretty bad.
I can take a note on that so I can evaluate that street.
I don't know, Pompano Drive, that's one that we've been talking about for a while, that's been need to be done.
So David, what about infrastructure projects? You mentioned 3 for paving.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, that was another one,
Yeah.
that
So-
drainage problem on Commercial,
Which one?
where that new drainage line ties in, where it necks
Yeah.
down. Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, that,
The ones that I put on the map, those will be the different color coded ones. So I use the dark blue for water and then green for sewer.
Mhm.
So the 2 projects I do recommend in terms of water would be Lamont, which is right there, right in the middle. I believe it is between, I believe that is DeBerry and I
Greenwood and
can't-
to
Yeah,
DeBerry.
Greenwood and.
Greenwood to DeBerry.
DeBerry, yeah. I knew it was Greenwood. I was trying to remember if it went all the way to DeBerry or not, but, so recommend that one first, and of course Myrtle would be another one, for water. I did speak to Mr. Dallas, because he has quite a few, requests for this one. He wanted the road, water, and sewer, and I did ask him, hey, if you had to pick one, which I already knew the answer, which one would it be? And he said water, which I agree. I think water should be always be the priority in trying to get infrastructure.
right.
But those are the 2 that are recommended. I wouldn't recommend doing the sewer yet on Myrtle. I would just
I agree.
concentrate on getting the water, if that's what you guys choose.
Yeah.
Has there been any talk between you guys about doing Greenwood to 13th Street and fixing that water down, that pipe down that went into that new sewer system or water system they made?
Yeah, we did speak about it. It looks like the route we're gonna have to take, we're gonna have to get an engineer involved to see if he can design and figure, or he or she to design, figure out what the problem is. Me and my street superintendent, we went manhole hopping, I guess per se. We're opening up manholes, trying to follow the path, and it gets very complicated. The sizes change, the quality of the pipes change. Some are very deteriorated, some are undersized, so it got very complex to just be like, hey, this is the problem right here. It seems like the whole system would have to be upgraded.
From where?
Basically, all the way down, it seems like it goes all the way down to Euclid and McCampbell, so that, it seems like that's where the outfall is, but we couldn't confirm where it went. But we know that's the part that needs to be upgraded to be able to fix the problem upstream. Because it seems like the improvements were made upstream and not downstream, so basically it's like having a 2-story house and spending all your money on the top floor when you should have spent it in the foundation. So in this case, we're gonna have to do an RFQ, get an engineer involved, and see if we can get it designed to get it fixed properly. Because it's not just a maintenance project where we can be like, oh, let me get a couple guys to fix it in a couple days. It's gonna be,
That's
yeah.
the project
Yeah.
sounds easy to me.
yeah.
Okay, thank you, David.
Mhm.
Okay,
Any other
So-
questions, any discussion?
I think I'm good.
okay. I think we have, so if those are, I mean, the list that David mentioned as far as the top 3 for paving and then the top 2 for infrastructure, and I think we just added commercial
Yes, correct,
for the
yes.
infrastructure, and then
Mhm.
we're gonna look into East Palm Drive.
Yes,
as a
correct.
paving
I'll come up
project.
with the number
Okay.
for East Palm, for Palm
Okay.
Drive.
All right,
Thank you.
guess we can go where she goes.
That's it?
What ranking should we put the Palm Drive in terms of Dial, Avenue A, and Pompano? We could switch any order. I still think we should keep Dial number 1, but what would you want me to put Palm Drive?
Till I handcuff you to the paving machine, you can decide. You're the one doing it.
Okay.
Trust your judgment.
Okay.
Well, half the problem with McCampbell is you have a bunch of 18-wheelers going down there, even though they're not supposed to go down there.
Mhm.
What can we do to enforce that they not use McCampbell? Because those 18-wheelers are tearing up that street,
Well,
which
the-
means they're also going down Guile.
Well, they're going down more and coming from
Right.
the county end, so that's.
They go from Moore to
Didn't the
McCampbell to
county make
Guile.
that road wider though?
Well, that
It's not a
Moore's,
very wide road, no.
Moore's weird. It's half in the city, half in the county.
But the commissioner told me they were gonna take care of it.
There you go. That's who needs.
Well, then maybe
Call
we
Jack again.
put Are you saying Moore or McCampbell?
More coming on to
Yeah,
McCampbell.
it comes on to McCampbell,
Yeah, we're gonna make it wide for those 18-wheelers that were driving off into the
driving off in
ditch.
the ditch.
So then once they make it right, they're gonna go down McCampbell.
That's true.
So we have a problem.
We have it anyway.
Yeah. The road that needs attention is Guile, is
Yep.
what needs attention. I'm not sure if 18-wheelers go into that one, but it is
No, I
getting
doubt
into
it.
bad shape. Yeah.
Well, you have to. If you're going down McCampbell, you have to get out through Guile, unless
Well,
you take Moore all the way through.
That's what they're doing, they're turning, taking a left and going down more, except they're
Always forget Moore
turning
comes
over
out on
upside down in the ditch. Okay,
Okay, all right,
all right.
got,
I guess
thank you.
we go
Okay.
get, oh, where's she at?
She stepped out because she also had a conflict, so she stepped out.
Well, everybody's gone, all right.
They're gonna, she's gonna go get him.
What they do, Burger King.
Okay.
Okay, now we're gonna have an update on the ISO rating. Michael, Fire Chief. I can't say it.
New Park.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. So it was back in November, as I was being offered the position and getting ready for my transition here, that ISO reached out to me and said, hey, by the way, we're going to be going to Aransas Pass and doing a re-rate. So it wasn't until I think late March, early April that they actually arrived in the city and did a survey of several components and functions of public safety within the city. That included our telecommunications systems and dispatching with the PD, every fire department capability, and a large portion of it was public works and water distribution system to include fire hydrants and flows. It was about a month ago, I want to say, that we got the initial results, and we were graded on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, or I'm sorry, 1 being the best, 1 being the best, 10 being did not meet the standards. And we were rated at a 4, which was our existing rating as it stood. And it had been several years that the city was at a 4 since the last study. Working with Public Works and David and all his guys at the water department, and working in conjunction with ISO, we were able to say, look, our initial score was a 69.85. We missed a 3 by 0.15 points. What could we do? And they said, well, we'll work with you. Go reflow these other this random select group of hydrants and see if you can get better flows out of them. So we did. We ended up getting better hydrant flows out of them, and it pushed us over the threshold to a 71.5, which made our public protection classification a better score of a 3. So that's unofficial. Those are the unofficial results until it goes to the state fire marshal's office and the city receives the letter from the state fire marshal's office. But that's more or less a formality. But what does a PPC mean for us, the public protection classification? That just tells the community and business development, residential development, what our capability is of protecting their investments in the city. It might mean that more businesses are more prone to come to the city. It might have a impact on residential and commercial property insurance rates, because that's one of the components that insurance companies look at when they determine insurance rates for a community, is the ISO rating for that community. So ours has improved for the first time probably ever. And in speaking with them, it is not unrealistic for us to become a 2 or even a 1 city. The fire department has a whole lot of work to do. We are lacking in a lot of things, namely personnel, stations, and we lost a lot of points on that. We lost a lot of points for training that we financially just can't afford to do. But if we can overcome that and do some other aspects in that survey, it's very plausible that we could become a 2 city very soon. But I just wanted to bring that to you and tell you that our ISO rating for the city will be improving to a 3.
Will this renovation help you?
No, because it still leaves us with 1 station. But there are other aspects that we can work on, that I am working on, that hopefully we can become a 2.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna go on to action items. Consider and act on a resolution of the City Council of the City of Aransas Pass, Texas, designated a city council member as a non-voting liaison to the Aransas Pass Housing Authority Board and providing an effective date. And I'm recommended Mayor Pro Tem Haskins. Do I have a motion?
I'll second it.
Oh, we need a motion.
I make a motion to approve a resolution of the City Council of the City of Aransas Pass, Texas, designating a city council member as a non-voting liaison to the Aransas Pass Housing Authority Board and providing an effective date. When do you want to make the date?
We gotta say his name. too.
Randy Haskins. To appoint Randy Haskins.
Yeah.
And do
And we need
to
a
put the
second.
date?
Tomorrow,
Yeah.
effective tomorrow, August 5th.
Okay. Effective August 5th, 2025.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion?
Mayor, let me just add that this liaison member that you're appointing to this, to the Housing Authority, as you said, it's a liaison, it's a non-voting member. One thing that they cannot do is they cannot vote on any matters, they cannot attend executive session, and they cannot say that they're a commissioner. They're simply there as a liaison, non-voting member.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, moving into consider and act on approving a publicity and tourism agreement between the City of Aransas Pass and the Aransas Pass Chamber of Commerce for a 1-year period beginning October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I put the presentation in front of you, so hopefully it would be better opportunity for you to look at it, and I'm going to be giving Mary some signals to go through the sheets with us as we go through it. This is a long, dreadful process for me. I hate it every year, but it's very worth it, and at the end of it, it's very enlightening, so I hope that you enjoy it as much as I do when I'm done with it, and you have a good appreciation and understanding for what we do. Please feel free to stop me anytime you want to ask questions. I know the pieces very well, so I tend to run through them. So just slow me down when you want to slow me down or if you have a question, okay? And I'm going to talk to you as if you're all new, because most of you are. And so that's kind of, I'm going to do basically like a 101 to kind of help y'all understand what we do. The Aransas Pass Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Center is in a partnership organization with the City of Aransas Pass and the Visitor Center itself. So we've got the Chamber, the Visitor Center, and the City of Aransas Pass, and we partner. Our mission as the Chamber of Commerce is to promote business, tourism, economic development, and work to improve the quality of living here in Aransas Pass. And I say that to you because that's going to come into play a little bit later on as you see the things that we do. The Chamber of Commerce is a partnership of businesses that are professionals working together to build a healthy, thriving economy and promote sustainable business growth in Aransas Pass. We have a lot of strong collaborative relationships in a lot of different places, and we utilize those to gain leverage to elevate the City of Aransas Pass. The City of Aransas Pass Partner and Advocate, we lead impactful community initiatives and outreach efforts, establish strategic committees and programs designed to elevate Aransas Pass and foster strong collaborative relationships, both local and regional stakeholders. The next slide, Mary, go to your next slide. I'm sorry if nobody else is following along because we have the sheets. This is kind of the things that we do. We are also the parent organization for Destination Aransas Pass. We do city enrichment. Again, that's going to play in later on some of the programs that we have to meet our mission of enhancement to our community. We do disaster recovery. We always pivot when it's time to have a disaster. We have done that several times, and we continue to do that. I'm also the VOAD for the City of Aransas Pass, which is the volunteer organization for active in disasters. We also have Leadership Aransas Pass, which they've come to y'all several times for projects. Anytime we do something inside the city, we need to ask permission. That's part of their their work. So that's our program, and they have to do a project to graduate. Okay, next slide, Mary. I'm sorry. And at the Visitor Center, we provide visitors with information on city attractions, lodging, maps, and other relevant tourism.
Rosemary, is the chamber and the visitor center, they're separate?
Yes.
So when you're talking about like Destination Aransas Pass, is that chamber or is that?
No, it's its own 501c3.
That's
Yeah.
completely
I'm
separate
gonna
also?
explain that to you too.
Okay,
Yeah. Mhm.
thank you.
Yeah, it's a whole different one. We just have, we share some board members on some of
Okay,
them.
thank you.
You're welcome. And the next slide, this is one of our most proudest initiatives that we have. It's brand new. It's probably 2 or 3 years now, made up of businesses in the city of Aransas Pass, and funded through our businesses. We do the Hometown Tribute, which you now see the flags in town on Harrison Boulevard and in commercial. We are trying to get more flags, and the more flags we get, the more presence you'll see in the downtown and in on Harrison Boulevard and even further down in front of the city. There have been a couple of cases where we had some people love our flag so much they decide they want to take them home. So we also have to replace those once in a while too. But if you see them and you see one down or something, give us a call. Well, usually the fire department is really good about going and picking them up for us. And lately they've been the ones setting them out for us. So we haven't really had to do the work. We just put them up. Well, I don't put them up. Joe puts them up because he's really organized. So he does that. But this is something that you'll see us get. It'll get bigger and grander every year. Yeah. And then the next slide is our Destination Aransas Pass. And here I'll talk a little bit about the things that we do. We have the Destination Aransas Pass 501c organization. It was created years ago by another group that were volunteers. And because they were volunteers, they really couldn't get it off the ground. And so they asked us if we wanted it, and we were like, of course we want it. You know, it's already an established 501c, and we can do some things with it. So then we met the Clean Green ladies, and they're fabulous. And they're really kind of our boots on the ground. So and they have lots of magical ideas for us. And so we do a lot of fundraising and try to help them as much as we can. Some things, I think just recently we had something come up where we were hoping the city would kind of help us fund because they want to repaint the benches in the downtown. And we're working on 2 other projects, so I'm going to show you in a few seconds. But if you look at the reds on the bottom, you'll see the things that we just did in this last 12 months. And the rest of it is stuff that we've been doing for the past 2 or 3 years. But we funded pressure washing the aquatic center last summer. We funded murals on Redfish Bay Causeway Bridge towards Lighthouse Lake Trails. And we funded murals on these electrical boxes. We added some this year, right, Cindy? There was a few more that we just did the other day. And then every time they want to change the pots based on the season, we'll fund them to change all the greenery or flowers or whatever they want to put in there. We just let them do what they want. Next slide. These are some of the signs. I know y'all have seen them. Daniel has reached out to me just recently. He wants to do something on the backs of them, but again, we're raising money, so we have to keep trying to raise money to keep continuing to make improvements to these signs. And this is the one event that we fundraise, the major event that we do to fundraise for our initiatives. It has really taken off. People love it. This year it's going to be at the harbor. We have a little bit of experience with the harbor now, so we know what that looks like, and we're super excited about trying to bring it there. It will help us logistically to put the event together and to grow it, because when you do it, even as much as we love the downtown, when you do it in the downtown, it's really hard to get everything set up by 10 o'clock and then back out in the afternoon. So this will allow us to grow the event even bigger. And if we can ever get a carnival with it, then that would be even better. And these are the 2 new projects that we're doing. The board, there's a board of 7, and there's about 15 committee members who love Destination Aransas. Thank God for them. They are the ones who help us fundraise, and then the board gets together and we decide what projects we think we want to work on based on the financing that we have. We're going to do 2 new signs in the downtown. The board is going into the process of going through TxDOT. That's a TxDOT highway, so we have to get all those permissions in place, engineering, before we can actually come up with a design. This is just a mock-up for y'all. This should be done by the end of this year. And then leadership is the program that I was talking to you about projects that they do in town. They're graduates. We hope to give them some more confidence when they graduate so that they can go out into the community and also take on leadership roles in our town. Next slide, Mary. And now I'm going to go into the visitor center. Our stats for the visitor center between July 2024 to June of 2025, so that's the report I'm giving you. we had 7,628 visitors, either in person or via on the phone through the visitor center. Next slide. And this is still an ongoing process with UPS. It's really like hard to get them to approve you. So we're just kind of like go here to go there to go here to go there. And hopefully we'll have the UPS shipping thing done pretty soon because we have a lot of people calling for it already. It's a service that the city of Aransas Pass needs, and they have to go outside the city for it. So, well, just keep your fingers crossed on that one. This one I'm super excited about. This has taken off. So
Rosemary,
go ahead.
Sorry, can you go back?
To the UPS one?
Yes. Will it be specifically UPS, or will it be UPS, FedEx, and will you be a copy center and provide office services, or is it specifically?
No, just
UPS?
shipping and, yeah.
Okay.
No. So the company that you use for it to do this, it's a third party, and they don't allow FedEx or you to do Amazon or like any other, you have to like say no to all those things if you want to get approved. So you can only do FedEx, and we can only do the shipping in and out.
Okay.
The Texan Parks and Wildlife has really taken off. We had the Hotties tournament this weekend, but I think 2 of them were from that. We had 2 come in from Washington that wanted a license, and we had 1 from San Antonio and then 1 from Aransas Pass. But together, I think we've had it maybe 3 weeks, and we've had probably 8 to 10 already. The new license is coming out so that people kind of like to wait to get their license. So we're going to do a launch on the fact that it's going to come out August the 30th, I think. And so they'll be able to get their new license. And there's not a lot of revenue in that. I mean, $1, I think, maybe, but it's bringing people into the visitor center. Like HEB was down last week, and then so they're sending people out, and so that brings somebody that would have not normally come into the visitor center so we can talk to them, track them, see where they're from, know where they're from, even if they're not telling us when they're from. When we see their license and get their stuff, we know where they're coming from, so that helps us with data. I put this slide up because I think this is important. This is from Travel Texas website. $97.5 billion was spent in 2024 in Texas through tourism. And in Aransas Pass in 2024, it was $37.2 million direct tourism dollars. I don't know where it's at, but seems like a ginormous number.
How do you get this number?
Through the website. So if you go to their Travel Texas website, they'll give you that.
That's what they say?
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's all we can do is pull their numbers. And you guys were here for this. This was a super great accomplishment. I'm really proud of the fact that we are a tourism-friendly Texas city. There's not that many in Texas, and we did a lot of work to get this done. And so I had to put the slide up there because I'm really proud of it. We use it on our signatures now. We use it in the visitor center. It's about to go on our website. And so if y'all want to use it, you know, slap it on everything you do.
Some of us are using it already.
Okay. Next slide. Okay, so this is going to give you an example of what it means to have events in your community. Attendance, now we have a software that gives us data to tell us how many people are in your area within a certain amount of time when you have an event, right? Okay, so the 2024 attendance for the, I think that's the fishing one, and that was at Coasters, had 1,043 people come between Coasters and that area. They could have been fishing, they could have been there with us, they could have been at the restaurant, they could have been anywhere in that harbor. It's going to pick them up during that time. So if you have 1,043 attendees, and we did the average between $79, mid-range $198, and luxury $497, that's $258. That's $269,000 in revenue that came into our city, whether it's sales tax or hot funds. It's coming in based on the things that we're doing. Same thing with Saltwater Mardi Gras. We had 1,600 people tracked through the downtown during that time. Next slide. New event. This was awesome. And we've been wanting to do this one for a couple of years. You guys do the fireworks show every year. You spend $20,000. We were thinking, what can we do to wrap something around that to get people to stay here, not just come for a fireworks show? So we created this event around that. I was able to get some numbers for this event already through our software, which was surprising to me because it takes a couple of weeks to get them in. This event was funded strictly by the Chamber of Commerce businesses. We set a goal we knew was going to cost us about $8,500, and we went out and got sponsors. Allen Samuels was our major sponsor, and the rest of them came in with $500 sponsorships. They invested $9,500 in this event. It had 1,039 K visitors to Calm Brown Harbor. That was 133% increase over last year, the same weekend, on the 4th of July event. Justin gave me some feedback from the restaurant. He loved it. He said they got murdered.
Oh, he
I
did?
guess it was a good way to
We
get
were there.
murdered.
Yeah.
And we were really happy with it. The economic impact on that weekend at the harbor was $268,062. Next slide. This is your sales tax. I get these numbers from Sandra. She keeps up with this, and I think we're on trend to make our numbers for this year. We just hit August, and I was doing the math earlier today, and it looks like we're going to be fine. We're going back up the other direction finally. The annual ferry traffic counts. This is hard for you to look at because the numbers are like, you got these little colors, but I did take some numbers for you to give you just some examples. In May of this year, we had 191,226 cars pass on 361 from the ferry coming this way. In June, we had 210,854, and in July, we had 232,147. So that was a huge increase between June and July on the traffic counts, and it just keeps going up. It'll start to go back down now that school's starting, and then it'll kind of taper down a little bit after the Labor Day weekend. And then the website, right now, we are doing better than we were last year. Last year was a hard year. We're already at 168,000. That was to June, so I'll start doing the tracking for July through next year. But we already see the tick and increase in that. And then your next slide is really just kind of telling you how people are looking at anything that you do. They're majority of your phones. We all know that. The phone is everything to us right now. And then the desktop and the tablet. So that helps with marketing to know, like if you're going to do something, you want to do an ad and it's for a phone, you want to make sure that you make it compatible for phones because that's where most of your people are coming from. These are the top viewing states for us right now. Texas is number 1, obviously. California, that has been number 2 for a little while. Virginia, Illinois, and Iowa. The next slide. And these are our cities, and I'm really excited about Dallas because we've been doing some marketing in Dallas. We do the show in Dallas now, and it just jumped past Austin and San Antonio. So I'm hoping that what we're doing there is working. We're getting to visit with a lot of people. We'll just have to keep doing that and see, where it gets us. We do have a hotel here, so sometimes they track zip codes, so they can tell you like where your people are coming from, and so we work really close with our hotels to know where we need to be marketing. And then these are the things that they come into the visitor center for or they're asking for. It's always festivals, events, always things to do in our town, whether it's shrimpery because it's grand or anything else. When they're here, they want to know what to do, where to go. They love to eat. Everybody loves to eat, so they always want to know, where are good places to eat, what's on the water. They want to eat on the water, lodging, and relocation services. Kind of like at the end of the summer, you start kind of getting relocation stuff from, I guess, school. People are looking at places to put their kids in school, so we'll get more relocation during that time. And then the next slide, that's from the website. This is going to be from the visitor center. So this is, go to the next one, Mary.
Oh, the next one. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
that was website. This is visitor center directly. So this is in the visitor center on the phone. These are the things that they're looking for. Next slide. And online, we have a place called Go Travel, and we get requests from them all the time for our visitor guide. We had 791 last year. When they ask us for a request, they'll click their button. We're on their website. They click the button. We get the request. We send them a formatted email, welcome to Aransas Pass, all the good stuff. We send them the visitor center visitor guide directly. So all of those people get that. So those 791 people got that. And we keep them recorded. We know where they're from. We have a database for them. Okay, next slide. These are the 3 shows that we do. And again, you can't see it because it's just colors, but I did do the numbers for you on my spreadsheet. And in Houston, we had 11,377 people come through the show. In San Antonio, it was 20,000. And in Dallas, it was 91,000. Now, 91,000 doesn't seem like a lot, but that show is strictly tourism. That's all it is. Everyone that walks in there is looking for somewhere to go, somewhere to stay. They're not coming in there for anything else. They all hit your booth. It's like a hurricane. You leave there with nothing. There's, what do you call it, travel agents. I mean, it's just so awesome. Like, people are asking you like questions, they're really in tune, and they're asking you things about your town, and it just really feels like you're making a big impact in that city. I love that event. I wish there was more like that, but they only have it once a year. It is very expensive. Just the booth by itself runs us about $6,000. Yes, it's very expensive, but it's very worth it. You know, we have the show booth. Everything is already there. It's just, you know, our bodies there, trying to tell people what we know about Aransas Pass. We're very frugal with that event. It is in Dallas. It is expensive. Courtney and I go together. We share a room. Sometimes we share the same burger. We cut it in half because we're at the show. You can't leave. You know, burger's $15. You cut it in half. You get a drink. We're trying to do our best to be conservative, but also get the most bang for our buck. You know, I can't take Roland. I'm not going to stay in the same room with him. That would cost us more money. I don't think anybody would appreciate that. Next slide. These are our billboards that you see in San Antonio and Houston, and there is one on Highway 361 that we switch out periodically. Sometimes it's a chamber board, and we'll fund it through the chamber, but then sometimes it's you know, something for an event, and we'll put it up there for 5 or 6 weeks, and we fund it that way. It is a contract. All of those are contracts. They're 12 months, so we keep them all year long. Next slide. These are all the platforms that we're on, all social media. We manage 5 pages. It's a job, but we're all on it, so we all are jumping on there constantly, trying to upload stuff or make sure that it's not getting spammed, or someone's, you know, come over here so you can buy a booth or whatever. You know, that happens a lot. So we manage those, and we're pretty proud of them. We do all our own graphics. We do all our own designs. Roland's really good at it too, and so he helps me with that a lot. Next slide. This is another initiative that we do with the Candlewood and the Civic Center. Sometimes the hotels aren't always full. Like, sometimes they have lots of visitors, sometimes they have less. We also target long-term stays, so we want people in the hotels all the time. We make welcome boxes. We put our visitor guide in there. We put gifts in there, trinkets. A couple of you have seen them. And then Josh and I will go out to all of the industries and give them their welcome boxes. He puts a certificate in there. Come stay with us one night. Let us give you an example of what it's like to be at our hotel. And from there, they get in the hotels, and then they end up booking like their conferences and stuff, safety meetings with the Civic Center, with Kaylin. And so it's kind of like all 3 of us kind of working together to fill in the gaps. And then we have the digital board that's there too at the Civic Center, so we put our events on it, and we also put like the hotel on there, or any kind of other things that are going on. As long as people are feeding us, then we have stuff to put on it. And then the next slide, you see our,
Rosemary.
yes, sir.
Back up to the community partnerships. The deal, you got Aransas Pass, Candlewood Suites, Pass, Saltwater Haven, whatever. What about the other motels? Do you work with them?
We promote them. They don't come in and offer like free night stay for, you know, like to kind of show off their properties and stuff. The Motel 6 works really close with us too. Sometimes they'll give us rooms, but we also like go drop stuff off, or we promote them through the visitor center, or we push things out for hotels. But this particular campaign that we're doing, we do it with the visitor center, with the Civic Center and the Candlewood. They are an extended stay hotel. So it's a little bit different than an overnight hotel. They have the kitchens in them and the dishes and all that. So we're
Still heads and beds.
yes. Well,
A lot,
yeah.
if I may, a lot of them don't have somebody in my position who can be flexible and go out and market. A good bunch of the hotels here in Aransas Pass are owner operated and don't have a full staff. Some of them actually live on site at the hotels. So myself and Fairfield, the Marriott out there has a staff. The owners don't live here, but they have a staff here. But they don't have a full-time sales and marketer or regional director as myself. So that would be why. They would have to get somebody during daylight hours, or right now at 7:30 at night on the clock, and they can't all do that, unfortunately.
So, and their information is in the welcome packet too that we're taking to all of those guys. So all of them are listed in there. He's just the face that's actually going with me out there. And these are your streaming that we do in San Antonio and the Austin Hill Country area. We have moved a lot of our marketing to streaming. It is much cheaper. It's more affordable. I still want to do some TV because there's people in every demographic looking at every platform, and we want to make sure that we're getting to everyone. but it is really getting unaffordable to do some of that stuff, so we're pushing some of our stuff to streaming. And especially after, we saw the decrease in the hotel stays, like last year, everything kind of went down. We needed to kind of start pulling back. So we shifted to streaming, and we're shifting to social media a little bit more because it's more affordable. And then here's all the campaigns that we had with Spectrum. You can keep going, Mary. I think that's just their data from the stuff we do. Where are you? Yeah, keep going. These are some of the radio spots that we do in the Hill Country too. Keep going. Keep going. You missed. Where are we? I think we missed a page. Go back one, Mary. This one. Okay, this is our San Antonio, Austin target audience Facebook campaign that we did last year. And I only put this here because I wanted y'all to see the impact that social media has. We did a buy on this. We got 89,000 viewers, videos, just off that one. Today we did a buy on one when we launched the entertainment. And today I looked at the stats on that, and it already had 65,000 views on the commercial. So it's very impactful, very affordable, and so we're just really trying to target different cities. Sometimes people will tell me, well, I didn't see it. Well, good, you're not my audience, because we have to pay for our stuff to go outside of the market. We do try to do it locally, but our major person is outside of here that's going to come spend the night in our hotel. So that's where our money needs to go. And while we do spend some money in the city within the chamber, the hot funds, the visitor center funding needs to come from outside the area. So we target the San Antonio area, the Austin area, Houston, the Valley, that kind of stuff. And then these are all our rack cards. We produce these in-house. We do all the graphics, we create everything, and we publish everything. We don't print them, but we send them out to be printed. But we're doing all this in-house. It's much more affordable that day. We do the Hotties on the Harbor, the Aquatics Center, Shrimpery, the Civic Center, the Saltwater Mardi Gras, and the Lighthouse Lake Trails one. Once it's complete, we'll be doing one for the Lighthouse Lake Trails so that we'll be ready for our shows that are coming up. And by the way, the Lighthouse Lake Trails used to be, I hope nobody's listening from Port Aransas, but they had it tagged to Port Aransas as a location, and I went into Google and I fought that, and so now it's tagged to Aransas, and we have millions of people looking at it, and it's in Aransas. So it's just, just trying to find those things that can help us draw traffic. It was a little bit of work. It's tricky, but I figured it out. And then here's our visitor guide. Randy, this is what you were talking about. All the hotels are in here. So when we take those to those blue-collar guys, all the hotels are in here. Anything related to visiting Aransas Pass is going to be in the visitor guide.
Is it just members of the
No.
chamber? Everybody's listed?
If there's something related to visiting Aransas Pass. Yeah. Even if you're a gym and you're going to come stay and you need to go to a gym, it's going to be in there. It's going to be just kind of helpful to them.
Gotcha. So it's not specific of
no.
the membership?
No. This is our guide to Aransas Pass. We're really proud of this. We redo this guide every year. We sell ads in it, but it goes all over the place. It goes all the entry points. It goes to all our shows. We give it away everywhere we go. It's in the visitor center too. If you want a copy, stop by and get one. It's very informative. It has lots of information about it. Aransas Pass in it. This is our international airport, Corpus Christi. They've got this big thing now. They're going to Vegas, so they're getting a lot of traffic. We still have our digital board in there and baggage. And if you go to the next slide, Mary, we also have it on the wall. And then we have it, one more slide, on their rack cards. This is actually over. It was over in July. I paid for one more month because it needs to be renewed, and I wasn't sure if y'all were still okay with that, so I just told her to hold off till after this meeting. But this is a really good place to be. We get calls. There's a QR code on there, so if they're here, they don't know where they're going, or they want something to do, our QR code is on there. It goes directly to the website to help them navigate their way. Next slide. And this is some of their stats of their visitors that they get. I just pulled those. She gave me those last week. So the good thing about the presentation that y'all have is I can upload it constantly and refresh it, and it's still going to you're going to get it as fast as I put it in. Next slide. Keep going, Mary. These are all of our billboards. I don't know if this is all our marketing stuff. I feel like it's off a page or two. I don't know if y'all got it like that. Because
The text dot is next.
Yeah, because I moved it around. Go a little bit more, Mary. So that text dot slide that you have, it's the data that where it says Highway 35 bypass?
Yes.
Okay, so that's referring to this slide, and it's telling you that 9,102,000 vehicles passed through there in 2024. There's 24,938 vehicles passing at that intersection every day. You might see it on the next slide if you pass it. 14,000 vehicles split under north going towards Allen Samuels, and 10,531 enter east into Aransas Pass at that split. I say that to you because you just supported the welcome sign that's going to go there, the Aransas Pass one. And I wanted to tell you how important it is for us to have a sign like that in our town for community pride and for people to know that they've arrived in Aransas Pass. It's a really big wow factor, so I appreciate you doing that. We're just this close to getting it a shovel in the ground, and when that happens, I will call y'all.
Are you gonna get it separated a little bit better than it was in the picture?
In the who what?
Are you
I don't
gonna
think they're
get the
doing the
words
sign.
separated?
Yeah.
Aransas from.
I'll make a message. I'll send them a message, but I'm not really the one. I'm not putting the
you're
S
not
and the
doing
P
that?
together.
You're not doing
I'm not really the one
No,
putting
we've
the
had
S
many
and the P
comments
together.
of seeing,
Yeah.
Who's doing that?
We are having, I will tell you that we are having a little bit of issue with that, so I'll give you a little bit of background on that. So TxDOT only allows signs to be certain distance, right? You see those signs, like you see that sign in Beaumont, it's no problem, Beaumont, that word is small, but when you get to Aransas Pass and we have like
It's
all these
huge.
letters, it gets huge and it starts getting into their area of, oh, you're too big, you need to bring it in. So the letters might be starting to get a little bit closer, just not the one between the S and the P. So we'll see.
That's what everybody was complaining about, was it wasn't separated enough.
Yeah, I get that. We're looking at that. We'll do our
As
best.
long as it doesn't say Arkansas Pass.
Yeah, yeah. And then I put this slide here for y'all because this is the one that y'all were out there with us. We did the kayak lighthouse launch trails. This was the grant that the chamber initiated when we had our grant person in-house, Marcy, who left us to go work for TCEQ. But we did this because when I was in Dallas last year, I wanted to talk about Lighthouse Lake Trails. I had nothing. So I went out there and I was like, oh, this park needs help, right? We can't put this on a picture. It means people are not going to want to come here. It doesn't look like paradise. So that's how we started with that grant we call Coastal Bend Bays and Estuaries, and they're like, yeah, we'll help you with that. So that was funded for $351,000, all by grants. $125,000 came from Chenier and the Port of Corpus Christi through the help of Commissioner Gillespie and Wes Hoskins, who's on the Port Commission. We got another 200 and, what was it, Mary? 226,000, I think, for a total of $351,000 in grant money. The next thing that's going to go out there is the restrooms, and we're almost done with the kiosk, so we're like maybe a month or two away, I hope, if the restrooms are in place. They're not done with that either, right? Yeah, so we're close. We're close on that one. And then that's the one I was telling y'all about a second ago. For everybody else that didn't get to see it, it tells you the 24,000 vehicles that we're going through. 14,000 are going up north towards Allen Samuels, and then the other 9,000 or 10,000 are coming to Aransas Pass. Next slide, Mary. I put this here for y'all because I think it's important for y'all to see. This is the HEB intersection, and while we have, 160,000 cars that pass from the ferry, we have a lot more cars that are actually going right in front of HEB. So that's telling me that not everybody's going to the island. It's an additional 2,000 cars, but 9,000 cars are passing through that HEB intersection, whether they're going from 361 Crossways or in front of HEB on Commercial. I put in a call to HEB. I've done it before. And I don't know if they've talked to you yet, Mary, but I'm trying to get them to make a bigger store. And I'm trying to
what?
a bigger store and more parking.
Oh, no, we need it.
A bigger store and more parking.
We need it,
And,
absolutely. Absolutely.
I planted a seed, and I hope that y'all are going to be in support of this when they do get ready to come. My vision would be for them to close that part of the street so that that's a full plaza between Spanky's and HEB, because they have the side parking lot for employees, and they want to be able to use that for their customers. And so
That's actually a good idea.
yeah. And if they'll listen to me, I want them to go up, like the HB in
Like,
Austin.
it is really congested. You
I
cannot
drove through
find
there
parking.
probably 5 times in a circle and couldn't find parking and had to
No,
leave.
You can't.
That's every day.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to get them to recognize, I'm trying to do some data for them so they'll realize how much of a
How
need we
big it
have
is.
for their HEB store to be, to grow. And, you know, they're a huge anchor for us here in our town, and, you know, I want them to be able to really get as much as they can out of being here in our town. What else? Okay, so I'm done with that. Your last slide should be, your hot funds slide. I don't think it's on here, is it, Mary? They don't have the slide? Y'all don't have a slide? You should
We have a visitor center
Okay.
marketing budget,
You don't have it, Randy?
2026. The hot funds are on here, top.
Last page.
But she
Last
doesn't have
page.
it. She can't show it to everybody. Okay, I'm gonna go through this with y'all, and then I'll give it to you, and you can post it when we're done. Okay, so in 2024, 2025, remember, we're on a different, level that y'all are on a different calendar year. We thought that our 55% would be 271,000, right? That's kind of a projection, you don't know what you're gonna get. The actual was 243,000. Now, remember that this is only the visitor center that you're looking at. This is not the Chamber of Commerce, that's 2 separate organizations and 2 separate bank accounts and 2 separate profit and loss. We proposed 271,000. We expected to spend 299,000 because our budget was originally for 70% and it got stopped right in the middle, but the expenses couldn't stop. Like, you're already in all these contracts, you have to keep going. So we knew we were gonna go over. We actually got 243,000. We actually spent 318,000. So keep in mind that we're getting paid after the fact. So we don't get that quarterly funding until after the quarter's over, right? So we're continuing to spend our money, and then we get a reimbursement, and then we allocate back, right? Okay, so this year we're proposing at 55,000 because, you know, hotels are down right now. We're proposing 277,000. We feel like the 55% will get us $207,000. Our budget is still 277,000. Again, I'm gonna try to shift some of that stuff. Like, the TV's very expensive. If you look at the TV one, well, the billboards are 40,000 and the television is 49,000. So we're gonna have to, like, try to bring that back down to be in budget, but everything's going up, so we'll just have to see where we go with that.
What is your profit from Shrimpery?
Last year, 40,000. We
But
spent
that's chamber, correct?
$390,000, and we
What?
we spent 390,000, and we
On
came.
Shrimpery alone?
Yes, sir.
But Shrimpery's chamber,
Mhm.
correct?
But he wants to know, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna
no,
tell him.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to keep this separate.
Well, yes and no, because we provide you police service and $20,000.
And if you wouldn't have, we would've went in the red, probably.
Well, I'm just saying, it's
Yeah.
not all chamber, it's us too.
Yes, through that, yeah.
Where else do you get your money for the visitor center, if not? from the business?
Partners, so we have members, and we have partners, and we have events, we have Shrimpery, we have the.
No, but that goes to the
banquet.
visitor center also?
No,
Like-
that's all
That's
cha-
what I'm,
that's-
for the visitor center, where does all your funding come from us, from the hot tax?
No, you're only doing, it depends on, how do I explain this to you? So, so the way it works is, the visitor center has a certain amount of square feet, right? Okay, and there's restrooms, there's visitor center, you have to measure the building, and then, let's say you get, I'm gonna give you something basic, like a light bill. Let's say the light bill's $100. The use of the building is 56%, right? So 56% of that visitor center storefront is visitor center storefront. The other 44 is chamber. So we're gonna split that $100 cost, 56% here and 44% here. So that's how we're operating right now.
How many employees do
But
you
what,
have?
money coming in is what I mean.
Money coming in, it's through the chamber, through our fundraising events, through our,
So the chamber gives the visitor center money?
yeah. Mhm.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to
Yes,
figure out. is-
yeah. we're kind of
Yeah,
sharing
since y'all are in the
costs.
same boat,
Yeah,
it
we're
makes it
sharing
hard to
costs.
understand what's visitor center funded and what's chamber, and I think that's just the
Yeah.
biggest confusion.
What was
because
that, sir?
How many employees?
Usually most cities are
in the
separate
visitor
entities.
center?
2 1/4. So we have
Quarter.
2 and 1 20-hour person.
You have 1 and 2 and what?
2 and 1 20-hour person. 2 is with me, that includes me.
That's for visitor center?
That's for the whole,
That's for both?
that's for both. So, like, how do I explain this to you? If we have to go somewhere for the chamber, we have to leave a person there because we don't close the visitor center. That person has to be there. We have to have someone in place all the time. If someone needs to take vacation, someone has to stay there. If I'm at a meeting and Lauren's on vacation, Courtney has to be. We always keep the visitor center open unless we absolutely can't. It's always open.
So there's only two in a part-time?
Yes, sir.
Both sides?
We need 3, but I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Okay.
Did that help? Some?
That didn't help me, it probably doesn't help you any.
Did it help? Did I clear some stuff up for you is what I'm asking.
I have a question about the billboards, because I really like the billboard in San Antonio. It's in a very good location. Do y'all, like the Shrimpery is obviously the biggest festival here. Is there a way to promote that, like, in the bigger cities?
On that billboard?
On that billboard?
So right
or-
now, that billboard is all Aransas Pass, right? Visit Aransas Pass. We could switch it to Shrimpery for a month or two, like right before the event. It'll cost us like $2,000 for a vinyl for the print, and then for them to install it, and then it'll cost us another $2,000
It's
to
just
take
a
it down.
really
and put the
good
other
spot.
Yeah.
Like, probably the people that see that billboard is I don't even know how to tell. Millions.
one. Yeah, a lot, yeah.
That's just a thought.
I don't know.
I'm good with everything? Okay. Okay, do we have a motion?
I make a motion to consider an act on approving the publicity and tourism agreement between the City of Aransas Pass and Aransas Pass Chamber of Commerce for a 1-year period beginning October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026.
Mayor, there's somebody that wants to make a comment.
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
Public comment just on this item?
Yeah, come up here.
All right, thank you. I appreciate y'all's time. And forgive my address. The first Monday of every month, I'm usually in my office looking at spreadsheets, and I don't leave. But I knew this was on y'all's agenda, and I'll reach out to Rosemary because I wanted to make sure y'all knew the importance of what they do and how it affects us and, of course, your town, your city. I believe the current status is they're asking for 55%. And I know at one time they were receiving 70% from the city to fund that visitor center. So I'm just going to talk numbers, real plain and simple numbers. And the good thing about this is always the fun stuff, because hot tax funding and visitor center funding doesn't take away from anything else because it can't be spent on anything else. So you don't have to, wonder if you're misappropriating funds, or you can fund it as much as you want, and it's not going to take from anything else. So back when the visitor center was funded by 70%, the city had approximately $6.62 million in total hotel revenue for every hotel in the city, minus micro hotel. We sold micro hotel way back when to a lady in California. I don't know if she knows how to file her taxes, but because they haven't popped up yet. But for every other hotel in the city, it was at $6.62 million. After they dropped down to 55%, that very next year there was a $500,000 loss. It went down to $6.16 million in total hotel revenue for the city, which means less sales tax. I mean, less hot tax, of course, and less money in your coffers. And this year, we're projected, if we stay on the same forecast, we're at $6.125 million. So when that dropped, we're on our way to a $7 million year for total hotel revenue in the city. Now we're down to $6 million. So there is an absolute correlation between those two numbers. When my hotel came online in 2021, we increased hotel revenue by $1.5 million. Okay? We, over the past 2 years, have met with a number of real estate brokers because there's some land here that we would like to buy. But myself and any other developer looks at this because the visitor center is the marketing arm of your city. That's the simplest way to look at it. They are the marketing arm. And when you're losing money, you have to put more money into marketing, among other things, but that's one of them. What you don't want to do is reduce it, especially when the numbers show that reducing it reduces your revenue, which reduces your tax income, right? So we want that to go backwards. What you want to do is funnel as much money as you can into the visitor center, to be quite honest. Because they're the ones out there in San Antonio and Dallas and Houston and Austin. I'm not going, but they are. And that's what we look at. If a visitor center is actively marketing and has the funds and the resources and the support of council, that's where we look to say, okay, should we spend another $20 million and put more rooms into this area, okay? But the numbers show when it was reduced by 15%, this entire city had a $500,000 loss in total revenue. $500,000. And now we're trending down towards $6 million when we're trending up towards $7 million. That's some food for thought, okay? I like this team. I really do. I work with a handful of chambers between Corpus Christi and Rockport, and I love this team.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
What year was that decline?
Between 2023, 2024. And at the same time, the Motel 6 came online about that time. So there was actually more supply, which should have translated into more revenue, and it did not, okay? I'm actively engaged with this chamber, obviously, because to your point, Mr. Haskins, you have to be actively engaged to see anything from it, of course. And I enjoy it. I like this side of the bridge. I live on the other side, but I like this side of the bridge. There is a lot of industry moving around. There's a lot of tourism. You know, your city, luckily, is not a seasonal city, right? You have leisure business, but once the summer drops off, you have duck hunters that come in October, November, December. I see a lot of those. I know y'all saw Dallas up there. Dallas traffic, American Airlines has a direct flight from Dallas to Corpus Christi. And I know that, you know that too. You know, so they come down here, they give you a lot of business during the off season. I would like to see them funded back at 70%. That's what I came here to say. I would like to see them funded back at 70%. And the good thing is, you're not taking that money away from anything else in your city, because it's earmarked and it's restricted funds that has to be spent on tourism and things having to do with it. So that's my plea. You don't have to listen to me, of course, but I would definitely like y'all to give some thought to funding them back up to where they were. Everything's getting expensive. Inflation has hit everybody. But whoever wins this marketing war, because every other chamber and DMO in the country is facing the same questions. But whoever, your bookmark between Rockport and Portland, and they're having the same conversations too about spending marketing dollars. Whoever wins the marketing war is going to win the revenue war, which will then win the hot tax war. They're going to get more money. So I would ask you just consider, if you can, pushing that number back up to the 70% mark for the visitor center. Thank you.
Mary,
Thank you.
do you have, or does Sandra have the breakdown of how much hot tax we get from each motel?
Is that you do have,
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you left.
Yeah.
So did I.
And
You over here.
Mary, before everything continues, there's some additional information that needs to be gathered. Am I able to,
Well, you made a motion, I
I know.
didn't hear a second.
but, yeah, no one said a second, so am I able to take it back, like,
Well,
and,
We can just let it die.
Sandra talk it in. I mean, if it dies out, then, you know,
Okay.
then we can
okay.
come back to it.
Your question was again, yes, we do keep a spreadsheet of all the hotels and motels in town and the Airbnbs in town and their quarterly reports and how much funding they report every quarter. Yes, sir.
Okay, you probably don't have that with you. Can you provide me with that?
Yeah, how far back?
23, 24, 24?
Okay, yeah,
Last 2 years.
I have that. It'll be in
If
the
you
next
have this
supplement.
year's, that'd be great. Like what so far?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, all right,
Thank you.
yes, sir.
And then I have a question for Rosemary.
Oh.
Rosemary, I don't know if y'all can hear me. Rosemary, can we, or do you have a more detailed breakdown of like where exactly the money's going? Like instead of it just being like the visitor center daily operations, I know it says administrative services, insurance, et cetera, but do you have a more detailed?
I could create one, yeah.
Okay. Because I don't think anyone has a problem with promoting the city at all. I think y'all do a fabulous job. I love your festivals and stuff, which is more chamber, but I think that just so that it's more transparent to where the money's going, I'd feel comfortable, or more comfortable looking at that before, you know, approving, just so that we can look at the numbers. But that's that's my comment on it.
Okay.
Okay, well, Councilmember Camarillo Smith has made a motion.
Yeah.
If there's no second, then it'll die for a lack of second, and then you can make your other motion.
Yes, so we have a second? Oh, motion dies.
Okay, I would make a motion to table this item. Making a motion to table the consideration of approving a publicity and tourism agreement between the City of Aransas Pass and Aransas Pass Chamber of Commerce for 1-year period beginning October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026. Until.
You want to table it to a specific date? Our next council meeting is the 18th. I guess that'll give Ms. Vega some time to provide
And
you with the
Sandra,
information.
too,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
information. I'm sorry?
Sir?
Can you hold that motion as well?
Okay.
So I can,
Okay, he's
Yeah.
going to make
Sure.
some.
because there's no
Yeah.
second yet, right?
No, sir,
Yeah,
there's no
No.
second.
go ahead.
All right. Mr. Mayor, Council, Mary, Chief, Bill Denton, President and COO of Allen Samuels Holdings, Allen Samuels Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram here in Aransas Pass. I came down tonight because I wanted to be here to kind of witness what took place, to make sure you understand the importance not only of the chamber but of the visitor center. I want you to understand that the money that goes there is earmarked for that. It can't be used for anything else, and I want to make sure that you do see that. I'm not here as an individual. I'm here as a representative voice of the collective membership and the citizens of AP. Business owners, civic leaders, city staff, community members who care deeply about the city and its future. The Chamber and the Visitor Center are not just buildings here in this town. They've been here forever. Rosemary works her tail off, as does her staff. They're vital engines to help drive the tourism into this city. And it's vital that before you make this decision in a moment to table anything, that you remember that. And that's why you're here. And Mr. Haskins, you made a comment earlier that you work for the people, and this is important for the people of the city of Aransas Pass.
That's why I make the
Sir,
motions that I make.
if I may, maximizing their impact, they must work lockstep with the council and the city government. The partnership, the unified front together is essential if you want to continue to see the growth and the lasting success of what you have here in the city. It's not about politics. It's not about who gets the credit. It's not about who stands in the spotlight. It's about bringing people into our city to stay in our hotels, eat in our restaurants, attend our festivals, and most importantly, leave with a good story so they tell everyone that they know. Then they come back with their friends and their family and they do it all over again. If you want Aransas Pass to continue to grow and thrive, the place where people want to be, the place where people want to work, they want to live, and they want to play, you have to operate as one. One mission, one voice, one team. The city, the chamber, the visitor center. It's not about anybody individually in this room. It's together, and it's about making Aransas Pass stronger. So I urge you, before you table this, that you make this decision tonight to do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
I second the motion.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I second the motion to table.
We got a motion, we got a second. Any further discussion?
I'd just like to say real quick in response, to postpone for 2 weeks is to represent the citizens, for us to look at the numbers so it is transparent and it's clear and concise, and so that everyone knows that we are making responsible decisions on behalf of the city, and that we're not just going to make them in a 20-minute presentation that we are just now seeing. That's the only reason we're doing it. We're not against the visitor centers. We're not against the money going to them. We just want to see where it's going and how it's being spent. That's it.
Okay, so you have a motion and a second.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed?
Rosemary,
Okay, motion passes.
Rosemary, we're all very proud of our chamber. We are. We're very proud of the visitor center. We're gonna work with you. It has nothing to do with that. We want to work with you. We want you to be here. We love everything you do for our city. We just have a few little questions. But it has nothing against you, or, no, it's nothing about that. It's not politics, it's just, we just have some questions, and we want just a few answers, that's it. So 2 weeks is not the end of the world. You know, so let's reconvene in 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay, I will get the information from Ms. Vega and provide it to the council.
Thank you.
Okay.
We will give you some questions that we want answers to before, probably within a week,
Yes, sir.
that we can get those.
She's here now to answer questions.
Do what?
Well, yeah, we can't, because we already passed through this. Okay, moving along, consider an act on renewal of agreement with Roland Rodriguez for community and public relations services for a 2-year period beginning September 1st, 2025 through August 31st, 2027 for an amount of $20,333.30 annually.
Yes, this is a renewal of Mr. Rodriguez's agreement. He's had this agreement for like the last 3 years, I believe. So he's simply requesting a renewal of that agreement. And he's here to answer any questions that the council may have.
Okay.
Well, I'll make a motion to consider an act on renewal.
I have questions.
Do you have a question?
Mhm.
Okay.
So, Mr. Rodriguez,
Get that limp going.
I know. So this contract that we do, between the city, it is $20,333.30 annually. What do we get for that?
Full-time position, full-time ambassador, full-time public relations coordinator for the city, of course, and the visitor center. I've worked basically full-time. for the
Strictly to
visitor
just
center.
the city, though.
And the city, well, anytime we have anything that's natural disaster, anything it's positive with the city, there's something, Public Works is doing something, I'm always out there to promote that and always be, a shining light on the city. Everything has got to be positive, nothing negative for this city. And if you think about it, $20,000 you're paying me for a full-time job, $10 an hour. I could apply for the aquatics manager, assistant manager, $48,000.
So
I could work for the Public Works, $49,000.
Essentially, you're saying
$100,000 in 2 years. You're only going to pay me $40,000.
So essentially, you're working 40 hours a week
Yep.
specifically for
Even
the
more
city?
hours. Both. I have to split my
No.
time.
Yeah, but no, just this amount for the city. How many hours are you working for the city to promote
It's
the
an
city?
every day.
Okay.
It's
You
through
don't work
the-
for the school system, too?
No, I don't. They wanted me to work full-time for them, and I said no because I didn't feel, the ethic to that was, y'all brought me in. And I left a job that I loved, working in television for 30-plus years. I left $20,000 more because they wanted me to stay. I declined it because I've been a part of this community, believe it or not, since the early 2000s, since Coach Davenport, because I was a sportscaster for many years. So I've always been a part of this community. I may live in Corpus, but I always tell people Aransas Pass is my second community. If you follow me on social media, anything that I do for this city is on my own personal pages. That's how much I care about this community. So when the school district said they wanted me full-time, I said no because I didn't feel that was right. So my job is to promote and encourage and give advice. I give Jason advice even though he doesn't need it, but I always do everything quietly. I don't make a scene. And if you show up to a press conference in a T-shirt, I'm going to say something like, "We're swearing in our new council members," and you come in a T-shirt. I'm not going to, I said it now, but my thing is, I always want us to have a standard, a super high standard. I don't care what's happened in the past and what's happening in the future, but I'm all about the future and making this town progress. And my way is, I always tell people when I'm either on television, on the radios, my number one job is to promote the city the best way I can, use my connections, and save a lot of money doing that. We're talking about TV advertisement. Do you know how much a commercial costs? 15 seconds. Anybody?
A lot.
No, pretty close. 15 seconds is going to cost you $1,000 for a TV spot. So that's $2,000 for a 30-second spot.
If you hire a production company, they're going to charge you anywhere from $500 to $1,500 because that's how they make their money. So what I do is I'm able to eliminate all that cost in several areas but with my background in being in television and interviewing and shooting videos and making videos and promoting. You know, we were talking to Jason the other day. The last 8 videos that I posted, 58,000 views.
How many of those have you done for the council?
Well, I've done several.
How many?
Maybe 3, because how do I say this? I've always projected, I even told you.
And I'm just asking.
No, the previous council, I would say, we need to do this, can we do this? And they say yes, they never get back to me. So it's not on me. I always promote, so I told Jason my idea is like every week after a council meeting, we get
and
one
how
of the
many
guys.
council meetings have you been to?
I can't count.
Have you been to one since the swearing in?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Roland, do you do political advertisements too?
No.
No?
No.
And I'm not saying you. I want to acknowledge you do great work for the chamber. I mean, it is superb.
Well, thank you.
But in my opinion, the city has not consistently received the level of attention, follow through, and prioritization needed to effectively support our communications and outreach efforts. I feel like your responsibilities split between the city and the chamber. In my opinion, there's a division of time that has limited the ability to fully meet the city's growing communication needs. Hold on. As we consider the future of the public relations services for Aransas Pass, I believe it is worth exploring the option of hiring a designated PR professional whose sole focus is on the city. I believe this would allow a more dedicated, responsive, and strategic approach to community engagement and city messaging.
What I was going to say is, past year and a half, our previous city manager told me not to be posting videos because anytime we posted anything positive or whatnot, we got bombarded with toxic people continuing to just discredit the video.
Just since the swearing in, this council to me is one of the hardest working councils that the city has ever seen.
No one's arguing that.
There's so much going on, and there's no communication to our citizens about all the work that we're doing. And it's disheartening because they're like, well, what are y'all even doing? And there's a lot happening, but our message isn't being put out there.
And have you ever reached out to me?
It's not my job to reach out to you. It's your job to reach out to me.
I have.
You're our PR. No, you've
well,
never even introduced yourself to me, sir.
Well,
never.
If you say hi,
and I'm just
okay.
and I'm not downplaying. Like I'm saying, you've done an excellent job with the chamber.
And
I just feel like the city would benefit from having their own. That's my opinion.
You have your opinion, and I'm just saying. So, I'm saving y'all thousands of dollars.
You're costing us $21,000 a
No,
year.
I'm not, because I'm working full time with the visitor center.
He's saying he
I
worked.
can't hear words you're saying.
He is being paid by the city $300, and if you do the math on it, that's $392 a week. You can't afford a public person permanent, full-time, and neither can we. And that's why we went into this
I'm not saying
alliance.
we would get a full-time person, but maybe somebody part-time to.
You just said you wanted someone.
No, I didn't say full-time. You said you worked full-time and
do.
did city work for full-time. I didn't say we wanted somebody full-time.
Roland, did you used to do with the school system also?
Yes, I would split my
And
time.
somebody else?
I work for all 3 entities. Yep. The city, the chamber, commerce, the chamber, city, and of course school district. And each of them got 8 to 12 hours, whatever.
Well, you got 20,000 apiece from all 3 to 60,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
He's been getting 40 from us for the last year.
Yeah, because you're not getting it from the school
He's not
anymore,
getting it
right?
from the school
Yeah.
anymore.
Because I did.
All right, can I make a comment?
Yes, ma'am.
Roland, you do a fabulous job.
Thank
You are the face of our city. From a city council perspective, going to what Ruth said, what have you done for the council? Council, we are regular citizens. We are not superstars.
Okay.
We're not people who I would think need to have a segment. I think what you're doing is phenomenal, is fabulous. Now, if there's an opportunity where city council is doing something wonderful that needs to be acknowledged, great. If not, I don't care. We're here to serve our community, not to be plastered on social media as a group. That's my personal opinion. And because of that, are there any other questions? Any other comments?
No, I think we got a motion on the floor.
I second the motion
Oh,
to.
you made the motion. Was it
I
somebody
made the
else?
motion.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Okay, we got a
Somebody-
motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, got any further discussion?
The motion was to approve the agreement.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. all
Oh,
appro-
wait, it was to approve?
To
Yes,
approve
sir.
it.
Oh, I withdraw my second.
We're not gonna get it cheaper, guys.
Oh,
I want it tabled, and I would really like to, instead of doing this out here in the public, I would really like to talk with Roland in executive session and get some things cleared so that we can move forward with what we're
And
doing and what he's doing.
I want a designated person. If we're paying him out of the general funds for the city, I want a designated person to represent the city.
Ruth, you won't get it for that price.
Roland, do you have any
You won't
problems
get it.
doing executive session and then maybe kind of outlining some expectations or, I mean, honestly, I don't know. But would that be okay with you? Are you up for that?
It's not a big deal. And whatever I'll answer every question,
Okay.
whatever you
Are
need.
y'all okay with
and how to
putting
set
them
it
on?
up and-
I'm still with my idea to do a designated PR person for the city.
The city cannot afford it. We're paying him $20,000 a year. He's doing exactly what he was paid to do, to promote
will
our
that
city.
That'll qualify for executive session, right?
No.
Okay, I'm just going to
It-
clarify
yeah,
a point here with you.
Okay.
He does not get paid from the general fund. He gets paid from the hotel motel fund to promote the city. That's where
the hot
his
tax. It
money
falls
is
within the
coming from.
guidelines of the hot
Because
tax.
it does fall within those guidelines. I wanted to
Okay.
clarify that is not a general fund position. His money does not come from the general fund.
Okay, I think I asked Mary about that.
Thank you, Sandra. Yes, no, no,
Okay.
no, his money doesn't come
Yeah,
from the general fund.
before I said that, I had already
Yeah, yeah, no,
asked
it
Mary
it
about
comes
that.
from the hot funds.
I can tell you that this doesn't qualify for executive session.
I didn't think it
No.
did either.
It doesn't
Okay.
qualify.
Well, then,
You can take me to lunch. I even pay for you. Out of-
We will not get somebody to do what Roland does for this amount of money. And we're partnering with the chamber on him. We need to keep him and approve this money. We'd not get it cheaper. He does a fabulous job, guys.
Yeah, I mean, hot funds is,
You know, city council, we are members of our community. That's it. We represent our community. We are the voice of our community. We don't need to be highlighted. That's not what we do. We
I
need to
agree
stay
with you on
humble,
that
and
part.
we need to stay and do what we
But-
do, which is be the voice and the eyes and the ears of our city. Let Roland do what he's trained and hired to do,
And I have
which is
offered
promote
to-
the city.
I already
and the
have
chamber.
plans
And
to work with the city. I've talked to Jason
I
about
don't
what I
believe
want to
other
do.
cities share their PR person with the Chamber of Commerce.
Other cities don't have 9,000 people. They collect a lot more revenue in hot tax and taxes in general. Our community is less than
We
9,000 people.
collect quite a bit in
We
hot
don't
tax.
get that kind of revenue.
hot funds? We're around, how much are we up to date on? Close to 500,000? Ingleside's getting 2 million. And probably can't count as high as Rockport's getting right now.
And without Roland, we'll get a lot less than that.
what about outlining some things or expectations? Ruth, is there something specific?
I haven't seen the
But there's
work
others.
put in for what we're paying is my thing. I
But
just
maybe
haven't
there's been
seen
no
it.
expectations given. I'm just saying, trying to throw it out there as.
Ruth, you won't get
That
somebody
it's
out
not
of
that he's not-
college.
Let me just say,
To work for
this is a
$20,000 a year.
two-year contract. Would the council consider perhaps a 1 year? And we can meet with Mr. Rodriguez and give him some additional direction if the council wants to see something different as far as videos is concerned?
I mean, Mary, for goodness sake, is doing our newsletter monthly. That's not her job.
No, that's always, well,
And-
that's always
but
been
she's
done
doing
by
it.
the
If that's
city
something we
manager.
could talk to Roland about doing then.
So, I mean, I still believe we need our own designated PR person. If it's a part-time person that gets paid $15 an hour, then that's what we shoot for. But I don't see the work going into a PR position for the city, is my stance about it.
We still have a motion on the floor.
We have a motion, well, Mr. Haskins withdrew his second, so
Do we have a second?
Ms. Martin's motion is still on the floor, so if there's a second.
You're not gonna get it cheaper. You won't. For the level of quality that he does, you won't come remotely close. You'll be doing a disservice to our city by not
What about
approving it.
looking at 1 year?
Not for
Okay.
$15 an hour.
No, you
No,
will
I
not
agree.
get the quality that he's producing at the rate that he's producing it, guys.
The
If
work
we want
is
our
being,
city to
but
grow,
the
we have got to be in social media. We've got to have videos. We've got to do what.
she just said social
Yeah.
media is one of the cheapest things that you can do for advertising.
Not the
I think
production.
that we could
Production is
look at
very-
doing
very
a 1 year
expensive.
and then have a conversation. If the conversation hasn't been had with Roland, I think that that needs to be done. Like, if there's nothing that he's been told in all, how long have you been doing this for us? 34 years now?
Going to my 5th year.
5th year?
I don't
And
see
I mean,
what-
if nothing's ever come to him, we can change this and do it for a year, have the expectations or whatever it is that we need to see, and then, a year's gonna fly by as it is.
Just a point of reference, if I may, we have a marketing director that works full-time for us at the dealership, and I pay her $60,000 a year, and she does all my social
More money
media.
than we do, Bill.
So, it's not a case of that, sir. I just for a point of reference, for your
what-
20 versus what he does versus what you would pay somebody full-time.
I know exactly what you're saying.
But I understand I understand where you're coming from, Ruth. I just think that we need to give a chance to rectify the situation.
If there's any of more dissatisfaction with his position, it's because he was never asked to do it. I don't think Roland, if you asked him, hey, could you do this for the city? He would say no. He would say, what do you want? How do you want it done? I'm on it. I don't think this man standing right here in front of us would say, no, not gonna do it.
And just to clarify, he's doing a phenomenal job with the chamber.
So give him
I
2
agree.
more
He
years
is
to do
giving
his
a
job.
phenomenal
Paying
job with the chamber.
$20,000 is not a lot of
He's
money.
the face of the chamber. But my position
He's
is
the face of our city.
my position is we are not getting our work, and I'm not trying to be plastered over social media. Our work needs to be communicated to the citizens because we've been doing a lot of work.
We are. We're on Facebook or YouTube Live right now. Our work is being seen by our citizens. They are watching. You and I have this disagreement right now, if they are watching. It's up to them to click on YouTube to see it.
Luann, can we table this and have this in executive session, or we?
She said we can't do executive on
Yeah,
it.
Qualify.
We will not get somebody of his caliber to do what he does for less than what we are paying him. If we do not approve him, we are doing our citizens a disservice and our city.
Okay, so there is a motion by Ms. Martin. Is there a
Is there
second?
a second? Okay, motion dies.
Motion dies for lack of second.
Okay.
So now what happens?
Well, I'd like to make a motion. I make a motion to renew the agreement with Roland Rodriguez for the Community and Public Relations Services for a 1-year period.
You have to make a motion to amend to do that.
To amend?
To amend it.
It's a motion to amend, yeah.
Okay, make a motion to amend it from a 2-year period to a 1-year period, beginning September 1st, 2025 through August 31st, 2026, for an amount of $20,333.30.
Write all that down, because we got to do it
Is there a
the second
second?
time. Yes, we have a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
So you're the,
Your first time.
We'll go on this side.
okay, the motion passes.
Now.
Okay.
Good job, David. Saucy. I think we gotta vote on it again, because we just approved the motion to amend. Now we have to actually.
Vote on the motion as amended.
Right.
So now we have to motion, to do it again?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll make a motion to amend what she just, or.
yeah, we
No,
just
not
need to,
a motion.
somebody,
Pass it.
Approve the
Just to
amendment.
pass it.
yeah, just
For
so
1
you,
year.
say it again. Make a motion to amend.
Okay. Make a motion to
Yeah,
amend?
motion to amend.
No, no, no.
We did the amend.
We did the amend.
You've been making a motion to approve the
Yeah,
amended.
okay.
Sorry.
I make a motion to approve the renewal of an agreement with Roland Rodriguez for the Community and Public Relations Services for a one-year period beginning September 1st, 2025 through August 31st, 2026 for an amount of $20,333.30.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, would y'all like to set up a meeting time with Roland? Anyone on a specific time?
What did you vote on it, Jason?
Me, no, I want a designated person for as a PR for the city. So
We'll
that
get with you later, Roland, then. Thank you.
I'm okay. Thank you, though.
Okay.
There you go, trying to bribe a public official.
Okay, now, consider and act on ordinance Well, go ahead, we can still read. Consider and act on ordinance reinstating the MH Manufactured Home District rezoning to Espada Aransas Pass Holdings LLC, Tom Farlow, and approved rezoning from R7B Single Family Dwelling District to a MH Manufactured Home District for an RV recreational vehicle park beginning at West Guile Avenue, more particularly described by Aransas County, providing for severance notice and penalty and declaring an effective date.
Okay, Mayor,
Yeah.
in this motion, this is a motion where Mr. Furlow and Brent Collins, and if you look at the first part of that ordinance, it kind of gives you the history of what has happened. And if we look at that first paragraph, back in September 24th of 2020, they applied for rezoning for a certain piece of property. And their intention was to build an RV recreational vehicle park, and that construction had to begin within 12 months. Okay. Then they came before the council asking for an extension back in November 21st of 2021, and the council granted them, I believe, a 6-month extension. Then, long story short, I think they appeared before the council on May 5th, 2025, and gave the council an update on the project, which basically at this point hasn't taken off. It's been stagnant since then. We had some discussions. There were some issues on what was the beginning of construction. Okay. Under the permits and what have you. We went ahead and prepared an ordinance for the council's consideration, and it was set for the council's consideration on July 28th of this year, a couple weeks ago. And at that point, it was postponed because there were some issues that Mr. Furlow wanted to discuss with me as far as the definition of what constituted construction, because I think that's what's at issue so far is what construction is, what's the beginning of construction. This ordinance would grant them a 3-year extension. And the construction, under the way it's worded, if you look at section 2 of this ordinance, construction would begin August 4th of 2028, right? And if they don't begin construction by that date, then of course it reverts back to whatever it was when it got rezoned, and then this project dies out, right? But then again, we look at what is construction, right? What is the beginning of construction? So if you look at A1, it talks about what will kick off and solidify that construction language. It says, a text dot permit shall be obtained for highway access. So in other words, they're saying as soon as we obtain this permit from TxDOT, we've commenced construction. And we have until August 4th of 2028 to obtain that permit, okay? Once we obtain that permit,
then we're locked in forever. It's permanent. So we can take 10 years, 12 years, whatever, to build on and complete the project. That's the way it reads, and that's what's up for consideration of the council. Again, it's a 3-year extension to begin. Construction shall begin by August 4th of 2028. And that doesn't mean breaking ground or starting to pour concrete. It just means if they obtain those permits from TxDOT under this ordinance, if you approve it this way, that would constitute the beginning of construction. Then he's locked in permanently. Okay.
Do we have anybody here to talk about this? I guess not.
Well,
Make a motion?
like I say, is I still don't like it because there's a for sale sign in the middle of it.
Didn't he say he was gonna remove that?
It's still there.
Still there.
The only way I feel comfortable with this, can you all hear me? Oh, I don't think that. Is if in the documents we put, he cannot sell it for the duration of the 3 years of the extension. Because apparently the side of the road, Guile, is not wide enough for what he's trying to do. So he's already in a situation where it's gonna cost more money widening the road to his location. And, you know, cause he has a for sale sign. I asked about that for sale sign, 2 or 3 sessions ago. And he specifically said, it'll always be for sale. That's alarming. So the only way I would back this up is if we put in there, you cannot sell it until you develop it.
Is that a stipulation that we can include, Mr. Isasi?
Yeah, I mean, certainly I can include that in there, and if they're amenable to that, then it, you know.
I don't like the 3 years from TxDOT permit. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Any more
That's-
conversation on this? Any more questions?
Yeah, Myra wants to speak.
Oh,
Yeah, I own some property right next to the proposed site, and I am against it because he did not start construction in the time that was allotted for him. And so.
I agree with you.
I just don't see the need to continue with it. Because he didn't have his money ready in time, or he didn't
still
have it
doesn't.
ready. He didn't have it ready and couldn't get it done.
I feel like this is a project that's trying to get zoned and presented to then sell without ever breaking construction, and that concerns me.
Yes, and I also, here, a year or two ago, he had a sign up for sale for that property saying that he already had the approval for putting in a mobile home park.
And I
Or
will not
RV
approve
park.
of mobile home at all.
Well, it was
That would have to
RV
change
park,
too.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
want MH on there anywhere.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I know he
That's
was
what
trying to
build,
sell
is
it,
a mobile home park.
No, saying
claiming
it's
that
RV
he
now.
had
But back then-
everything ready to go for him.
No, it's different.
So,
Can I make a motion?
Yeah, we got a motion.
I make a
Wait.
motion, huh?
No, wait, go ahead.
Okay.
Wait, no, so let me ask you this. Why can't we amend it or whatever, Asasi, to, because his big thing, he needs to have it rezoned to get the funding.
Yes.
Give him 1 year to get the funding, and then come back to us for an extension once he gets the funding to do the construction.
I think his issue with getting the funding is that in order to go to the bank, he's gotta get something from the city saying that we're
We've
supportive
approved
of
it.
it. We passed it, and he's got the permits, and he's ready to go.
Right, but why can't we approve it contingent that he gets the funding for this project?
I just don't.
You know, I mean, would a bank not take those, that lingo?
But I'll talk to him about it, but I just don't.
Because, I mean, it looks like all we're doing is just spinning our wheels over and over and over.
We have a motion.
I make a motion that we deny consideration on act of ordinance to reinstate the manufacturing mobile home district rezoning to Esperada Aransas Pass Holdings LLC, Tom Furlow and Brent Colin and granting a time extension of 3 years for an approved rezoning from R7B single family dwelling district to a mobile home 12.7 acres located in the southwest corner of the North Commercial Street and West Guile Avenue, more particularly as described as Aransas County, Appraisal District, property 42527, repealing conflicting ordinances provided for severance notice and penalty, and declaring an effective date postponed. 7/28/25, City Attorney.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. You oppose it?
Yeah,
Okay.
because,
Okay, all right, motion carries. Okay, moving into consider and act on ordinance amending the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 14, Article 2, Section 14-28, abatement by adding subsection A authorizing the use of independent contractor to assist in the abatement of high weeds, rubbish, and debris, establishing procedures for contracting, providing for enforcement and recovery of cost, providing a severability, and providing an effective date.
Yes. What this ordinance does, I'm sorry, what this ordinance does, it gives us the ability to hire independent contractors, which is what we're not able to do right now. So this gives us that ability. That's what this amendment does, gives us that ability to hire independent contractors to assist us with the abatement of high weeds and rubbish and so forth.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna say.
Do
Okay,
you
sorry.
have a cost maybe of what this is gonna be?
That will be, I do have a chart on what exactly we're going to be charging contractors. It's more, I guess, in-house paperwork, but I'm more than fine sharing it with you. I just don't have it on hand right now.
Okay.
why can't we hire somebody full-time to do this? Is it because of those big machines that you were talking about the one time I asked? Why can't we hire somebody?
Exactly. We just don't have the manpower for that. As far as code enforcement, I mean, code enforcement is not in charge of doing abatements. I've never heard of any code enforcement agency from any municipality that does their own abatements. It's usually third-party contractors that usually go in, do the abatements, and act as a vendor for the city.
And then y'all put a lien on the property?
Exactly.
Correct, okay.
Exactly.
So, I mean, we may not get paid back right away, but eventually.
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
think I'm understanding this, obviously.
Sure.
Because I'm reading it as authorizing the use of independent contractors. So you're wanting code enforcement to go out and hire a contractor. If you can't get the owner to do something, you want the okay to hire your own subcontractor.
Exactly. To bring in third-party contractors to act as a vendor for the city. We'll bring in, I would say, 3 to 4 contractors to put them on rotation to be able to do the abatements throughout the city.
Going back full circle, why can't not code enforcement, but public works hire somebody specifically for this and save us in resources of paying? Independent contractors are very expensive.
Sure.
You know, why can't we provide jobs for somebody within our community and have someone specific for this? And when they don't have something from you to do, they can go mow yards, do weeds, you know, it makes more sense to me than hiring a subcontractor.
Well,
David, you and I were going to do this the whole time, just so you know. I would
And that's
question
fine.
Subcontractors all the time because they're very expensive. I'd rather give somebody a job within our community.
Now, when you're
Yes.
looking at a full-time employee, you're looking at almost, I want to say, 3 to 4 times the cost of the contractors that we're hiring
The
per
biggest
year.
part's the equipment and the
yeah,
maintenance.
and let me just add, we would be using them on an as-needed basis. If we went down this route rather than hiring a full-time employee.
I would like to see the cost.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because I don't know what our public works people make, but we may be able to get somebody full-time who can work in other areas within public works and get more bang for our buck. Does that make sense?
It does. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's just,
Do you have availability of workers?
what was that?
Do you have availability of workers?
I wouldn't be able to answer that on the public works
That's
side.
typically the problem.
No, we currently don't have anybody, so
That's all.
Councilmember Martin is making a good point that we would have to get extra personnel. But, I mean, as you can see, our street techs cost about $49,000 with fringe, and then you probably have to buy another piece of equipment about that price, and also have enough work to keep them busy. Because as they're going to be as needed basis, they might just use them once every few months. I mean, it depends on the demand, but but versus trying to keep somebody busy full-time. And also another thing too is that Public Works and Code Enforcement are two different departments. So it'd get very complicated with a different department telling us what to do and how to do it and when to do it. So it'd make more sense that if he got one under his own department and managed it. That makes sense. So one thing is that we would have to keep the departments separated because we're not under the same umbrella. And another thing too is that you would have to have enough work to keep them busy, even in the winter when the grass isn't growing and the gentlemen or ladies twiddling their thumbs trying to find something to do. At that point, then it's going to be beneficial to have a third-party contractor, if that makes sense. Because remember, grass cutting isn't year-round. It's spring, April showers, or May flowers, or whatever the case is. But then comes August, September, October, November, December, grass becomes stagnant. So, of course, there's pros and cons. So I totally agree with Councilmember Martin, because I've always been an advocate for doing things in-house. Everybody knows that about me. But I think in this case, it's a special situation because I just don't think we can justify having a full-time employee and full-time equipment for something that you're going to need 7 months out of the year.
Well, let me tell you, and please don't take offense, because it's not meant to.
Oh, no,
offend
no, of
anybody
course not.
In any way, shape, or form. If you drive around our town, our city, there's all kinds of room for improvement. That somebody who, when he doesn't need him, could step in and say, I can do this. I can go weed eat this alley, or I can go pick up trash over here, or I can go work on this part, or go cut this, trim this trees or whatever. If we can't our city should be immaculate if we don't need another person. We can always use another person
of course.
to have a dual function of working with cross departments. Of course, operations-wise, can take a little bit of planning and so forth. It's not just, hey, go do this right now. These have to check with you and what have you. But if we can make it work, save the city money, be it get another another person in-house to do some of this cleanup that we desperately need, it's a win-win.
No, I totally agree. I'm not going to disagree with you. I just feel in this special situation, it would not work. Because any other given time, I would have said, give me a full construction crew, we'll install water lines nonstop.
Right.
Give me a full construction crew, we'll be paving every single day. But of course, at some point, it's like, okay, when you run out of tax notes and bond money, what are you going to do the other 9 months when you run out of all your paving money? You see what I'm saying? So in that case, it's kind of like a prime example is that what are you going to do when you're only mowing 7 months out of the year, the other 5 months you're not? And okay, we'll just pull them and have them work on water leaks. So now I'm your boss for 5 months, and you're his boss. Then he's your boss for the 7 months. It's going to get very complicated, and that's what I'm saying. I've always been an advocate on doing anything in house. Anybody can attest to that. I just don't see it working for this situation. But that's just my opinion.
It's not totally
that
out of the question.
Yeah,
If
it's
you want
not.
to find somebody here in town that'll do that too,
Yeah.
right?
No, it's whoever puts in for it, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we
Yeah.
put the position out, they'll apply for it.
Yeah.
I'm saying more in the management, trying to save money. The thing is that you might not save money because you still have to pay them the full salary for 12 months, but they're only going to be working on the mowing part 7 months out of the year. And not to mention, a lot of these grass, the properties we're mowing isn't carpet grass, it's just a foot tall. You're talking about Johnson grass and things that you're just going to run over pipes, concrete pillars, and blades, and it's a good feeling when it's not the city equipment being damaged on trying to mow. So in that case, you would need a big mower for that property, then you need a small mower for the smaller stuff because you can't fit. So you're going to need a fleet of equipment.
And a crew.
So, and a crew. And a maintenance schedule. And so it's kind of like when you start thinking about it, I feel in this situation it's better just do the third party because even though it does sound a lot of money in the grand scheme of things, it can be a lot more money.
Agree.
Any other questions?
I make a motion to approve on the ordinance amending the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 14, Article 2, Section 14 through 28, abatements by adding subsection A, authorizing the use of independent contractors to assist in the abatement of high weeds, rubbish, and debris, establishing procedures for contracting, providing for enforcement and recovery of cost, providing a severability, and providing an effective date. As of, what date would you like?
Let's get going tomorrow.
Tomorrow, August 5th, 2025.
Okay,
A second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, moving into consider an act on ordinance amending the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 14, Article 2, Section 14-29 by adding subsection A, establishing regulations for the issuance of citations stemming from alleged criminal violations of the city code, providing for notice requirements for the abatement of nuisances, providing for rules, standards, procedures, and criminal penalties, providing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
If you'll let me make a motion, we can breeze through this one.
I don't care.
I say
I
yes.
make a motion that we accept and consider the act on ordinance of amending the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 14, Article Section 14-9 by adding subsection A, establishing regulations for issuance of citations stemming from alleged criminal violations of the city code, providing for notices, requirements for the abatement and nuisances, providing for rules and standards, procedures, and criminal penalties, providing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date of development services, the date of tomorrow, August 5th, 2025.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
See, Joseph?
All right, motion carries. Okay, now we're gonna go into executive session. First item to discuss is Combine Harbor lease, Handsome Sailor. And we're also gonna discuss industrial district agreement, Garrett Construction Company, Ingleside Dock and Fuel Incorporated, Stat Care Urgent Care, and JWD Eclipse Investments LP is 8:31.